Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are the West.
Globe Life Park is set for a night of fun on the field. The Rangers and Astros play for the 18th time this season. And here at the Rebecca Creek Saloon, we are set for an opportunity for you to bid on some once-of-a-lifetime packages. Golf with Pudge, read with the Simpsons, or spend a Sunday with Jimmy and Terry and Kurt and the boys. 16 awesome auction opportunities for you to bid on, or for a smaller donation, one of these beautiful stainless steel travel mugs or a dog tag, all to help the victims of Hurricane Harvey, those who need it most.
This is Rangers Baseball presented by AT&T as we welcome you in on a Tuesday night. And as John Radigan just mentioned, a special Tuesday night here at Globe Life Park. The Astros and the Rangers, middle game of this three-game series. And yes, there's the baseball. There's also the action tonight out at Rebecca Creek Saloon. A bunch of opportunities to get involved, to show your support, to help our neighbors to the south as they continue to try and recover from Hurricane Harvey. Welcome in, everybody. Great to be with you tonight. This is a special night here at the ballpark, and for those of you watching at home, we encourage you to get involved tonight with us here on the broadcast. It'll be a different broadcast, to be certain. We'll have the game for you, no question about that. But we're also going to present many opportunities for some once-in-a-lifetime experiences, some great giveaways, and of course, there are all sorts of ways you can get involved helping out those hurt to the south of us down in Houston and on the Gulf Coast. It was August 25th, just a smidge more than a month ago, when Harvey hit shore in the Gulf Coast. More than 120,000 people evacuated, more than 5,000 pets that were rescued. The scenes were horrific. Anybody who was paying attention and watching at the time, there's no doubt that you felt just as strongly as we all do for our friends to the south of us, and hopes that we can help out. And tonight is one of those nights, Tom. We do get a chance to help out. And of the many great packages out there, which ones caught your eye today?
It'd be tough to turn down a round of golf with Pudge. That would be right near the top. But I think if I had to pick my favorite one, it would be Fox Sports Sunday, the football show featuring Terry Bradshaw, Jimmy Johnson, Howie Long, Michael Strahan. Kurt Menefee is the perfect host. I think those guys are the brightest. It's the gold standard for all those shows. And Terry Bradshaw, for me, is one of the most knowledgeable, funny guys on television. To be there, watch them work, and be a part of that show, that would be the number one for me.
Yeah, a great opportunity. And there'll be other wonderful packages similar to this. Now, for those of you maybe more in my price range, and you just want to help, you just want to find a way to give something to help out, well, we'll take your donations and we will give you back some great things as well, like one of those stainless steel Texas Strong mugs, keep coffee warm. Maybe one of those Texas Strong dog tags that Tom and I are sporting tonight is a part of our outfits here at Fox Sports Southwest. So there are plenty of ways to get involved tonight. We just hope you'll enjoy the game, and we hope that you can find a way maybe to help out those folks in need down in South Texas and in Louisiana. Also tonight, Bolt, as we speak about the ball game, we've got a great pitching matchup for you this evening. Two of the best in the league, and we'll put them in the spotlight tonight. We're going to see Cole Hamels, the ace of the Rangers staff, Dallas Keuchel, the former Cy Young Award winner. Those two highlight our show in the spotlight when we come back. Rangers Baseball is brought to you by AT&T Internet. Visit AT&T.com/keepcalm to learn more. By Budweiser, not backing down since 1876. This Bud's for you. And by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. are welcoming everybody in tonight. It's a pretty nice for baseball here tonight. A little overcast, but should have a nice crowd on this Tuesday evening here at Globe Life Park for the middle game of this 3-game series. 18th time this year that these two teams have gotten together. Great in-state rivalry, and today, yeah, the baseball and the competition will be great, but so too will be the fellowship. It's time for our Shiner Box Spotlight. And Tom, we talk about Cole Hamels all the time. He has been so good here at home.
Yeah, he's been very good at home, and he's throwing the ball very well lately. At home this year, he's had 12 starts, and he's perfect. He's 7-0 at home. In his last 3 starts, he's had 3 quality starts. He's gone 2-1 with a 2.53 ERA. He's only pitched once against Houston this year, and in that game, he pitched 7 innings, didn't give up a run, and only 3 hits. Last 3 starts, left-hand hitters are 1 for 22. So he's pitched great at home all year long, and recently in his last 3 starts, he's been throwing the ball very well.
So the Rangers have their ace going tonight. George Springer leads things off for the Astros, and Springer takes ball 1 with a big smile on his face. 87 degrees here at game time tonight, and a little bit more humid than it has been lately. Little high, 2-0.
Take a look at the pitch arsenal brought to us by Ford for Cole Hamels. 48% fastballs along with a cutter at 89 miles an hour brings it up to about 60% fastballs. But he also has a very good changeup and a very good curveball. In his last few starts, the curveball has been a really good pitch for him. I think when he's at his best, his changeup is his best pitch. But he's got such a good variety of pitches, and at times they're all well above average. And when they're working for him, then he pitches gems. Hopefully this will be one of them tonight.
11 wins, 4 losses for Hamels this year, a 380 earned run average. It's his 23rd start of the season, and he walks George Springer to start things off tonight. All right, let's take a look at this Astros lineup tonight. We mentioned Springer. Alex Bregman bats second today. You'll notice no Jose Altuve in the lineup. Correa, Gaddis, Marwin Gonzalez, who has been a real tough one on the Rangers this year. Gurriel, McCann, Cameron Maybin in center field, and Tony Kemp gets the start in left. There's Jose Altuve. Left the game early yesterday with a bruised forearm after being hit by a pitch. He's fine. They were looking to get him a day or 2 off here in the final week of the season, so in a way it timed out well. It's a great night tonight to give him a break from the action. And so Alex Bregman bats in the 2-hole. One ball, 1 strike on Bregman, who also has some good power. 17 home runs. Getting on base at a better than a 350 clip this year. And he hits this one on the ground. It's short and through into left field. Springer will drop anchor at second base. Bregman with a base hit. First 2 men aboard.
Tonight's Rangers defense is delivered to you by Texas Farm Bureau Insurance. Delino gets to start in left field. Carlos Gomez is in center. Shin-Soo Choo is in right. Ryan Rua gets the start today at first base. As usual, it's Elvis and Rugi up the middle. Adrian Beltre off the designated hitter list and onto the regular player list is playing third base. How, I'll never know, but there he is. And Robinson Chirinos is behind the plate. You know, right when that injury happened, I think we all thought, well, he won't be in the lineup for the rest of the year. That's going to end the season. So he comes back and he DHs for whatever, a couple of weeks, and everyone's surprised at that. And now before the season's over, here he is right back where he's always been, playing third base. And, you know, Pudge and Mac talked about it on the pregame show. Just remarkable.
That one blistered past him into that left field corner. Springer will get to the plate. Here comes Bregman as well. He'll score. Correa clears him with a 2-run double.
Well, that looked like a cut fastball. that was definitely to Correa's liking. That ball is hit so hard, Adrian, all he had a chance to do was glance in the direction of the ball. Last night we were talking about exit speed on several balls hit just like that. Line drives, one hit down the right field line by Nomar Mazara. And David, we're talking exit speed on that one. I think it's kind of right in the same league we were talking about last night. 110 to 114, right around in there, because he definitely smoked that ball. I'm going high on that. I'm going like 113.
Yeah, I had a sense that you were leaning to a bigger number.
You can't just give a 4-mile-an-hour
right
grouping. You gotta nail it. And so I'm going for it. I'm saying 114.
Oh man, you're imagining yourself up,
yeah.
Man. I love it. Okay, 114. We will get the data on that here momentarily. Evan Gattis, the DH tonight, stands in. And that one was a little bit less than 114, right off the end of the bat foul. 1-1 the count. Well, this team, how about this? Jump out 2-0. And look at the run differential in the first inning for the Astros this year. They've outscored opponents by 33 runs in the first. And when you're the skipper, A.J. Hinch, yeah, that makes all the games a lot more enjoyable to manage. This one lined over short. That's a base hit into left field. Correa stops at third base, and the Astros have him on the corners.
You know, when you're talking about the Astros having such a large differential in the first inning, it's not surprising. The Astros, take a look at Evan Gattis lining this ball to left field. Correa had to hold up before he started to run and ended up at third base. It's not surprising. They have the #1 offense in baseball. They're first in almost every important offensive category. And leading off the first inning is generally Altuve, Springer, and Correa. So when you have those three outstanding hitters all hitting back to back to back in the first inning, it stands to reason that the first inning would be a huge inning for the Astros.
Look at those numbers they put up this year as an offense. Pretty amazing.
You know, there's other innings where they might hit in the same inning, but once the game gets rolling and you get into the middle of the game, you don't know exactly when everybody is going to hit or whether they'll all hit in the same inning. But in the first inning, you know that basically three of their best hitters, maybe the three best hitters, are all hitting. Although it's tough to leave Marwin Gonzalez out of that conversation when you're talking about the Astros' best hitters this year.
Yeah, which I think speaks to those overall numbers we were just looking at. I mean, hardly a weak spot in this lineup. And in fact, you know, Jose Altuve not in the lineup today, and you're looking at Bregman in the 2-hole, Gattis and Gonzalez 4th and 5th. I mean, Yuli Gurriel is batting 6th today. This is a deep, formidable lineup that they have in Houston. We'll see how it plays in the postseason. They have already won the division. Is this one fouled away? 3-1 now on the switch hitting second baseman.
And that's what Cole has been trying to do, is get that cut fastball in on the fist. He succeeded with that pitch to Gonzalez. Didn't quite succeed on the one to Correa. Leadoff walks are never a good thing, and in this particular case it ignited a pretty good rally right here for the Astros. Cole has thrown 16 pitches, only 7 strikes early in the ball game.
And that one lined into right field. Another base hit. Correa's in. Gattis will stop at second. A walk and 4 straight hits, including the double by Correa. Astros lead 3-0.
Last night Gonzalez had 4 hits in the game. He knocked in 3 runs. He scored 3 runs. His 85 RBIs coming into the game led the Astros. And you can add another one to the list right here. A fastball that stays up and out over the plate. I think Gonzalez just goes the other way with it. Singles into right field. Pretty impressive rally early in this ball game.
Well, very impressive. 3-0 the score. Here is Yuli Gurriel, and he'll foul one off for strike 1.
I'm going to say impressive rally. It's impressive it stands by its own, 4 hits and a walk, but it's even more impressive when you consider it's off Cole Hamels, who has been pitching very well in his last 3 starts, especially. Last 2 starts, he's only given up 3 runs in 15 1/3 innings and only 7 hits. The Astros have come out swinging.
Slow roller second base, and Odor goes the short way. They'll get the force out of Gonzalez. That's the first out of the ball game. Gaddis is at third and Gurriel at first on the fielder's choice.
Well, that's a big decision right there for Rougned, because if you play it safe and go to first base, now it's second and third and 1 out. But Ruby sensed he had a shot, and they just barely get Gonzalez at second base. Now it's a different situation. First and third with 1 out, get a ground ball, turn a double play, and you can limit the damage.
So now McCann, big strong left-handed hitter, and fights off strike 1.
Dave, some of the people watching the game, especially when we show the view from behind the pitcher, may have already noticed the mask that Carlos Torres, the home plate umpire, is wearing. It's not the normal umpire's mask. That's actually one of Robinson Chirino's masks. The umpire's gear has never arrived. It wasn't here last night. It's not here tonight. And the umpires, through Hoggy Price, their clubhouse manager, want to thank the Rangers for their hospitality and fitting them with belts, shoes, and the rest of the attire that they needed to umpire, minus the gear that's never arrived. But pretty good look for the home plate umpire right there. Looks just like the catcher.
Yeah, that's definitely a new one. That's pretty cool. High pop up, and that one heads foul and out of play. You don't see that very often, but poor umpires, man. I don't know if we tell the story enough, or give people that background enough. No home games for these umpires. No. They're always on the move, and sometimes their stuff gets lost.
They don't have a private plane like the players do. They're basically on a schedule. They're catching commercial flights. They have to hustle after a game to get to the airport, and sometimes their gear doesn't arrive.
Slow roller again, shortstop. Good feed to second for 1, and almost back in time to get McCann, who is not very speedy, but he does beat it out.
It just hit too slow, and obviously there's a sense of urgency on that play. First and third, if you turn it, the run doesn't count. And so Elvis and Ruby on this kind of a ball, doing whatever they can to turn it. Ruby's getting rid of it as quickly as he could, just wasn't able to deliver it to first base in time or accurately enough to make that play on the slowly hit dribbler by McCann.
I'm used to it.
So McCann beats it out, keeps the inning going, 2 away. With 4 runs already across, Cameron Maben, the 8th place hitter, swings and misses at strike 1. Tough first inning for Cole Hamels. This will be his 25th pitch. And it's inside, 1-1 the count. Well, everything was set up for Hamels not only to start this game, but to also start the final game of the regular season for the Rangers. With the thoughts, the hopes that it would maybe be a meaningful game to get them into the wild card. That very much on the line tonight. The Rangers' elimination number has been whittled down significantly over the weekend, and today was down to 1. A loss here today, and postseason hopes are no longer. But even with a win here today, it's no guarantee, because should the Minnesota Twins win in Cleveland, that would also be all for the Rangers. And right now the Twins are leading in Cleveland by a run. That game just in the 3rd inning. 2-2 pitch and a swing and a miss, strike 3. So he strikes out Maben to end the inning. What a tough first inning it was. The Astros put up a 4 spot. The Rangers just now coming to bat.
The bottom of the first inning here at Globe Life Park, we are also raising money for the victims of Hurricane Harvey. It landed in Houston 1 month ago today, and Jeff Bannister has told us it's at the 1 month point that the people who have been so generous begin to get back to their lives. We're here to help you remember there are so many victims still in the Gulf Coast area that need our help. They need your help, and we've got a fun way for you to help. Here at Globe Life Park in Arlington, we have auction packages, the likes of which you can't get anywhere else. I promise you, you haven't seen this at any live auction anywhere in the Metroplex, certainly, and probably no place else. A read with The Simpsons, a table read thanks to 20th Century Fox and Gracie Films, who produced The Simpsons. Simpsons are in their 30th season in 2018, and you sit with the cast and the crew and you do a read-through of one of the upcoming episodes. It's something you can't get anywhere else other than right here. We've got round-trip airfare for 2 to Los Angeles and a one-night stay for 2 in a hotel. Bid that one up. We got a feeling that's going to go for big bucks, guys.
Yeah, that one's pretty awesome. I mean, there are a lot of great ones on the list tonight. You talk about a rare opportunity right there as Delano DeShields starts things off here tonight. Delano getting the start in left field. .272 coming into play. 5 home runs, and he takes a strike from Keuchel. It's 0-2. Now, Rangers down early, 4-0. Dealing with Keuchel, making his 23rd start of the year. He's 1-2. Former Cy Young Award winner and the leader of this staff this year and the last several years in Houston, although he has now got a good running mate in Justin Verlander, whom the Astros acquired right at the end of August. Bouncer, second base, and Marlon Gonzalez boxed it. So DeShields is on an error to start the bottom of the first inning.
Boy, that was a ground ball. I didn't even see him miss it. I just looked down at my scorecard to write 4-3 on a ball hit like that. You never anticipate that a major league infielder is not going to make the play. I'm not exactly sure what Marlon did on that. Take his eye off it. Let's take a look. He just never got it in the glove. Hit him right in the bare hand. I don't know if he was tricked by the hop or exactly what happened, but whatever it was, we have a man on first base right now. Keuchel gets a lot of ground balls. He leads the major leagues in ground ball percentage, 67%. Career ground ball to fly ball ratio is just about 3. And for pitchers that have 900 innings pitched, active pitchers, that's the #1 ratio among major league pitchers. So he's an extreme ground ball pitcher. Let's take a look at the Ford pitch arsenal that leads to all those ground balls for Dallas Keuchel. You'll see 58% are fastballs, and just about every one of them is a 2-seam sinking fastball that gets a lot of those ground balls. Slider can be a strikeout pitch for him, and the changeup and the cutter keep the hitters honest. Really good assortment of pitches, but basically, there's a nice curveball. Basically, he'll throw the sinker, and he wants to get ground balls.
Ahead of 2 here, a ball and 2 strikes. Chu was 0 for 4 yesterday and hitless in his last 7 at bats, though he did have a nice road trip yesterday, the opening game of this final homestand of the year. A look at DeShields, and that one is low, 2-2. Chu's on base this year at 354. And it's taken a little bit of a hit last month of the season. Here's the 2-2. Chu doing what he does as well as anybody in baseball. That is taking a bat deep, make a guy work. And generally speaking, very good at getting guys to cave in. 73 walks this year, most on the team. Shields with 29 stolen bases. He's going, and he'll set up and try it again.
You know, when you look at the line for Keuchel and Hamels, they're almost identical. They've each had 22 starts, so they've each spent time on the disabled list this year. Opponent's batting average is almost identical, 217, 220. So the hits to innings pitch is about the same. Walks, 46, 48 are almost the same. Keuchel struck out a few more batters, actually 20 more batters, and given up 4 fewer home runs. But overall, the lines for the two left-handers are very similar.
There's ball 4. They'll throw down to second, but it won't matter. A walk to Chu. Rangers have the first 2 men on here in the first inning, so trying to answer the Astros top of the first inning. Take a look at our Southwest starting lineup. And Delano to Shields and Shin-Chu Chu up top, already on base. Andrews, Mazzara, Beltre in the middle, and Beltre getting the start at third base. Certainly been hitting the ball well lately, as you can see. Gomez, Chirinos, Rougned Odor at second base batting eighth. And then Ryan Rule with the start at first tonight. And Joey Gallo a night off.
One thing that is up a little bit for Keuchel this year is the base on balls. He's walked 46 in 140 innings, a little over 3 per 9 innings. That's somewhat high for him. The Rangers have a walk among their first 2 hitters, 2 men on, and trying to duplicate the same kind of inning that the Astros had in the top of the first.
Last night the Astros had a big game offensively, taking the opening game of this series, but the Rangers had a lot of opportunities. Rangers left 11 men on base last night. They were just 1 for 4 with runners in scoring position. Tonight, Oakland, maybe they could turn that number around. If they can do that, might get right back in this thing, down 4-0 here early. A good speed at both first and second base at the moment.
Keuchel's last start against the Rangers was August 30th. And in that start, he pitched 6 innings, but the Rangers had 5 hits and 6 runs against him in that start. So in his career against the Rangers, his ERA is over 4. And along the way, the Rangers have had some games like that last game where they've lit him up. He's also had several games, including 2 9-inning complete game shutouts against the Rangers, where he's lit the Rangers up.
Well, this ground ball gets through into left field. The Shields will score without a throw. RBI single by Andrews, and the Rangers strike in their first at bat tonight.
You see the changeup grip. Elvis was still able to get enough of the bat on the ball. The off-speed pitch caused him to hit the ball slightly toward the end of the bat, but he still hit it hard enough and located it well enough to get it by Carlos Correa. Delano scores easily, and Rangers are on their way to a nice inning. I think one thing you had to say before this game, if you look at the 2 pitchers, is this game on paper should add up to a pitcher's duel. And right off the bat in the first inning, that has changed. Rangers trying to make it a big inning just like the Astros did.
Omar Mazzara takes strike 1. Omar the DH. Good numbers against Dallas Keuchel in a great spot here. Couple of men on base. He is 3 short of 100 RBIs for the year. So he could get to that number with 1 big swing in this first inning. Chu at second, Andrews at first. And it's 1-2. Now Jeff Bannister's even said that, he thinks it's important for Nomar to get to that 100 mark this year in RBIs. Guy in just his second year in the big leagues at 20 homer season. Got that home run Sunday at Oakland. So 20 or more home runs in your first 2 years in the big leagues at 22 years old. In terms of other guys who've been able to accomplish that, you're talking about Juan Gonzalez and Ruben Sierra. A couple of pretty decent Rangers hitters. So Mazara off to a real nice start to his career and a chance to add to those big numbers here tonight. 20th pitch of the inning for Keuchel, and it's fouled away. Stays 2-2.
Let's take a look at the Astros defense. Looks a little bit different than their traditional lineup. Tony Kemp is in left. Cameron Maben gets the start in center. George Springer is back in right field. Marwin Gonzalez playing in place of Altuve at second. Carlos Correa is at short. Alex Bregman at third. Yuli Gurriel gets the start at first, where he is customarily, and Brian McCann, the veteran, is behind the plate.
Strike 3 call. Mazara down
pitch.
looking, and he's discussing the merits of that pitch with Carlos Torres.
Yeah.
One away.
That's a tough pitch for a hitter to contend with right there.
All right, Tom, so another one of the great offerings tonight. About the Texas Rangers 3,000 hit package. Get an Adrian Beltre autographed lineup card from the game in which he made history. An autographed commemorative baseball. And an autographed 3,000 cap. Current bid right now at $1,000 on that one. So many really cool packages being offered tonight. Adrian Beltre with a chance here to pick up Nomar Mazara after that strikeout. Keuchel pretty deliberate. Finds that inside corner for strike 1. Beltre 2 for 4 yesterday. Sits safely now in 7 of his last 8 games. He'll take low. 2 at second, Andrews at first. By the way, for these great Harvey relief packages, just go to foxsportssouthwest.com. And you can get involved. Got to register and then get yourself in on all the action. This auction going on all night long on all the items that you'll see and hear about tonight. And you can go online right now and get a head start on some of them.
Yeah, and the 3,000 hit package is certainly a nice item. Adrian is a shoe-in to go to the Hall of Fame. And one of the crowning accomplishments of a Hall of Fame career will be his 3,000th hit. He's going to get a lot more after that. But that 3,000th hit and the package that commemorates that is a nice keepsake to have.
Inside 2-2 the count. They want an appeal. That's odd. That's one of the first times I've seen an appeal and a Beltre at bat where he hasn't.
He didn't ask for it. Yeah, he was so sure he didn't swing. He didn't need to ask for it. That's close. His hands didn't go anywhere, but the end of the bat kind of flipped toward the strike zone a little bit.
At the very end, he got that one little point in it. Yeah, go ahead, check this one. 3-2.
Well, Keuchel struggling with his command as well. 26 pitches already, 14 strikes, 12 balls. So both left-handers struggling a little bit, unusually, with their command.
Payoff to Beltre. He swings and misses. Back-to-back strikeouts for Keuchel. So talking about that 3,000 hit package, let's go back to July 30th. That warm Sunday afternoon. There it was.
Yeah, one thing when you get your first major league hit or any kind of a milestone hit, I think it always feels better if it's a line drive rather than an infield hit or a blooper. And his 3,000th hit, he did it upright with a double smash down the left field line.
that was one of those things as we were getting closer and closer to the date and people were working through all the various scenarios that could play out. Somebody brought up the idea of an instant replay. How bad would that have been? Close play at first, maybe he's called out, and then no, we want to take a look at this.
Even worse would have been if it was a replay to see if it was fair or foul, and then it was called foul.
1-0. Broken bat roller, second base. But Marwin Gonzalez is there, and the inning is done. Rangers get an unearned run in their half of the first. With one inning complete, it's 4-1 Houston.
The Astros 4-1 as we continue our Harvey relief telethon here at the ballpark, and a few very special guests. The Snyder family from Houston has been displaced here to DFW. We've got John and Kim and Savannah and Avery here with us. And Kim, I understand this has been quite a traumatic couple of weeks for you guys. What brought you here to Dallas-Fort Worth, and what did you leave behind in Houston?
Sure, it's been quite a struggle to get here, but we're so happy to finally be in northern Texas. So a couple weeks ago, of course, Harvey went through Houston and impacted everyone in any way, whether you lost your house, you know somebody that was impacted or not. But for us, our entire house flooded. The water was up 6 feet, and it sat there for 12 days. And so we ended up having to strip the walls down to the bare bones, get everything out, including wet furniture that had been there for over 30 years. But we were able to escape.
And I understand you guys were not even in the floodplain. You didn't. This happened a couple of days after Harvey, and you guys got out with courtesy of the Coast Guard with a German Shepherd and 2 bunnies.
Right. That's right. We have never flooded. The home's been there for 30 years. The neighborhood's never flooded, and we weren't on the impacted zone list that was put out the night before. And by the morning, we woke up and water was up to the front door. A few hours later, we saw a FEMA boat go down the road, and then a Coast Guard boat go down the road, and we were so happy to have Coast Guard pull up to our front door and load us on with our German Shepherd, our 2 bunnies, and the 2 girls. And the Coast Guard was absolutely professional and so wonderful to our family, and we are entirely grateful for that.
Well, we're so glad you're here. We welcome you to North Texas. And John, I know the devastation is wide-reaching there in Houston, and it's hard for even us to grasp, if you haven't been down there, just how much help that area needs.
It's incredible. I think the financial help that Houston has gotten has been fantastic. It's more volunteer help now. We're trying to recover in that town just to seek some sort of normalcy, I guess you could say. The best part that we saw was the town, Texas, and all the surrounding states coming together, especially in Houston. When we had to have help to demolish basically the bottom part of our house, we had no idea what to do. The house had never flooded. In fact, I had left to go on a trip the day before while Harvey was dwindling. It was going away, just some light rain, and all of a sudden the water had gone from 6 inches up to about 8 feet in the road. Well, we were in a panic. We had no idea what to do. They were rescued by Coast Guard. What do we do next? Do we start bringing the mops out? Well, no, we can't even access the house except by boat, and then they closed off all the waterways. So what happened is volunteers started coming down and asking us if we needed help. And we're usually the people that volunteer. And so we were gracious. We're like, oh, go somewhere else. It's okay. We're going to be all right. Then we realized we couldn't do this on our own. No matter where you lived or what your financial status was, this is an extraordinary situation. And so we had a group of about 30 volunteers that came to our house and helped us actually demolish it, which is just an incredible thing to think of.
We hope that we can help more tonight by raising money. And I understand you have one quick shout out, right, Avery?
Yes. I want to say hi to someone special, my grandpa, Papa,
Where is he?
in Houston.
He's in Houston. Okay, look in the camera and say hi.
Hi, Papa. Love you. Miss
And
Well, we're glad you're okay.
yes, one more thing if we have just a little bit of time. I just want to say American Airlines and the Allied Pilots Association, the safety department have been fantastic to us. We couldn't have done this without them. It's been an amazing experience, and we feel like part of their family and North Texas family, especially a lady named Shauna Baldry, and she was the one that actually helped us come up here, find a house to live, find a car to rent, and unpack our bags. So we just want to say thank you to all of them.
We're so glad that you've made it here safely, and welcome to North Texas. We hope you stay for a long time. Guys, we'll send it back up to you.
Wow, thanks, Emily. That's quite a story.
I saw a special on TV about the volunteers that are doing that. There's thousands of them from all around the country that have gone neighborhood to neighborhood and basically stripping the bottom floor of a house, putting all the junk out on the curb to eventually be taken away. But in the meantime, you look at it and you listen to that family, and there's no possible way you'd even know where to begin to do that. And then to all of a sudden have these volunteers show up and ask if they can do it is just pretty remarkable and shows the way human nature responds to that kind of a tragedy.
Bregman sends one deep to right, but Chu is back there to make the play. And it's a 1-2-3, top of the second for Cole Hamels. At the bottom of the second, 4-1 Astros, and just another one of the great items out there tonight. This the Blue Sky Studios tour. You take a trip with a friend to the Blue Sky Studios in Connecticut. That's where movies like Ice Age and Rio were brought to life, and you guys get an opportunity to go behind the scenes in the studios, tour, participate in a learn to draw session with the animators, and of course you can watch for some of the upcoming new features in the film Ferdinand, which is coming out on December 15th. The package will include round-trip airfare, one-night hotel for two. So,
well, how
it's a
cool
great
would
thing
that
about
be
these
to
things.
learn to draw from the animators?
Yeah,
that is great.
I don't know what the percentage of movies are anymore that are animated. Maybe it's just because I have kids, but it seems like a lot of them. But they're good. They're just fantastic. And of course, anybody who has children and has seen any of the Ice Age movies knows what I'm talking about. They're funny and they're beautifully animated. But anyway, that'd be very cool to go see the Blue Sky Studios in Connecticut. 1-2 to Robinson Chirino. So by the way, anybody who wants to check out more of these packages tonight, get involved with our telethon this evening. You can check it all out. FoxSportsSouthwest.com. Get on there, look through the packages, get involved in the live auction. Four to 1, Chirinos leading it off. Odor and Ryan Rua to follow. Bottom third of the order here. And the check swing. Did he go? No. Chris Guccione down there at first says Chirinos is all right. Keuchel had to throw a lot of pitches in the first inning. Way more than one would have expected, and certainly than he had anticipated. 29 of them as he strikes out Chirinos here. And it's a strikeout to start the second inning. I mentioned earlier in the open today, other ways you can get involved. You don't have to necessarily spend thousands and thousands of dollars on one of these great packages. You can also, if you want to just donate to the cause and you're not looking to get a big package or something in return, we're still going to give you something in return. For like $80, you get one of these stainless steel Texas Strong mugs. We've got these dog tags, Texas Strong. It's like, I don't know, $30. If you can give whatever you can. You don't feel obligated, of course, but if there's a way to help, and this is a good way. I mean, it's not as easy for everybody to go down and volunteer, as cool as that would be. But if you can.
Well, it's a way to volunteer financial assistance and get something back in return. And the dog tags are a nice item, and the cups are beautiful. So that's a nice return on your donation.
Odor batting 8th tonight. Might have noticed that note just a second ago there. The 3 walks in last night's game, a career high for him. And that's coming off last weekend when he walked twice in a game in Oakland. And it was only the 5th time in his career that he had walked multiple times in a game. So suddenly, he's starting to draw some more walks at the end of the season. 30 home runs to his credit. Takes that one a little bit high, and it's 3-1.
Well, the one thing we've seen yesterday and even in this at bat is there have been some pitches that frequently this year he has offered at that have been out of the strike zone, and he has been more patient in the last 2 days. We've seen Joey Gallo do it as the season's gone on, and it's become a very important part of his offense. He's walked over 70 times. His on base percentage is over 33%. So he's done that this year, and now it's up to Rugi to apply himself and hopefully do the same thing. He just becomes so much more valuable. Joey's walked 73 times, I think it is. You look to verify that. 73 times, and Rugi's walked 32 times. So there's 40 walks in there. You increase your on base percentage with 30 or 40 more walks, and that's a significant improvement in what you're bringing to the table.
Ground ball to second. And Odor is the second out of the inning. A couple other items that you can get in on tonight. Fox Sports Southwest behind the scenes experience. Yeah, you can check it out what it's like to be a part of this show every night. You can tour the production truck, attend a production meeting before the game, sit down in the booth with us for an inning. We'll even take you to dinner.
You know, over the years, we've had a number of people win that same experience. And while all facets of it are pretty cool, the one thing that everybody says is the visit to the production truck is something that they never anticipated. You know, we talk about the truck every game, but I don't think people know exactly what we're talking about. But just the setup with all the screens, with all the people, I haven't had a chance to be there very often because we're up here, but on the times when I have, it just looks like mass chaos and confusion.
It is.
And people yelling and people moving around, and how the product comes out the way it does is just remarkable. And I think it strikes people that same way when they get a chance to do it and they look at it and they say, I never imagined that this is what it looked like behind the scenes. Yeah. And how many people are involved behind the scenes.
It is as amazing an experience to see. It's like watching somebody launch the space shuttle or something. I mean, it's crazy what goes on in there. And then you have the elegance of Dave Burchett, who my mom said earlier this year she got to visit the truck. And as she left, she said, you know, you're like an orchestra director in here. And that's the first thing she told me a little later. She's like, that Dave Burchett. Hands waving, instructions, very smooth. It's a lot going on in there, though.
When you think about it, the job that they have trying to make us look good, which is basically what they do every night, and occasionally they succeed.
Yeah, they're still working on it.
But think of that job and then compare it to launching the space shuttle. Their job is way harder than launching the space shuttle. And so that's how talented they really are, because they don't make us look good all the time. That's impossible.
Right.
But occasionally they do, and that's pretty remarkable.
Yeah. Those moments where we kind of lay out and let them do their thing.
Yeah, that's when we're at our best.
Arua strikes out swinging. That's 4 strikeouts tonight for Dallas Keuchel.
Harvey Telethon. Here we are with the Bird family. It is time for our progressive fan of the game, and it is Aiden, who has just bought. What did you buy?
A dog tag.
There you go, to donate to the Hurricane Harvey relief effort and the telethon here today. Aiden, we appreciate your support. Make sure you go tell everyone you run into today to come buy one of these, okay?
I will.
Okay, I think I like it. Thank you, dear. Guys.
Nicely done.
Good job. Way to go.
Aiden going to get out there and keep the message going. I love it. Way to go. All right, 3rd inning here. 4-1, heart of the order coming for the Houston Astros. So you can get one of those dog tags as well right now online. FoxSportsSouthwest.com. And you're donating to the effort tonight, raising money for Hurricane Harvey relief. And trying to help all of our good friends to the south in the state of Texas and in Louisiana, all along the Gulf Coast, affected by that just incredible storm that dropped. Tom, I read a fact today. It was it was 50 inches of rain, which was an all-time record. It's basically the annual rainfall in Houston, which is a pretty wet city to begin with. They said it was 1 trillion gallons of water that dropped out of the sky.
Wow,
that's a lot.
Yeah, it's tough to picture exactly what that means or to compare it to anything, but 50 inches of rain over that large an area, just pretty dramatic what it did. But listening to the family talk about their situation, where I guess they felt like everything was okay after a couple of days, and all of a sudden you got 8 feet of water in your house. I mean, that happened overnight.
Bouncer foul. 3-1 the count to Carlos Correa. Evan Gattis, Marwin Gonzalez. The Astros scored 4 runs in the 1st inning. Hamels was a little rocky right out of the gate. Seems to have steadied himself. He's retired 5 in a row with a couple of strikeouts. And it's 3-1. Strike 2. Second to last start of the year for Hamels. If it would go as expected, he will start this Sunday in the final home game of the season. And a 3-2 pitch. That one lined out towards center field. Coming on for it, making the play out there in center field is Carlos Gomez. All right, time for a Chevy game break. Let's check in with John Radigan.
The
Jays and the Red Sox. Chris Sale having a rough go of it. Josh Donaldson, his second homer of the game off the AL Cy Young Award winning favorite. 33 on the year for Donaldson. 4 in the game for Sale. Just the second time in his career he's allowed 4 home runs in a game. The other was against the Rangers back in 2013. Blue Jays lead at 5-1 right now, guys.
Boy, watching that at bat, watch the ball come off his bat. It didn't look like that ball was going to go to right center field over the Red Sox bullpen. It's kind of the opposite field in the same way that Joey Gallo hit that home run last night to left center field. For a right-hand hitter to go the opposite way. A long way to hit one in Fenway Park.
Evan Gattis takes one low. 2 balls and no strikes here in the 3rd inning.
Now, Sale may have one more start this season, but as close as the Cy Young race is, 4 home runs toward the end of the season, and the way Corey Kluber's pitching, that may have tipped the scale if it needed to be tipped in Corey Kluber's direction.
This ball well hit out to right field over the head of Chu. And he'll recover to pick it up and get it back, keeping Gattis to a double. That ball hit hard out to right field. 22nd double of the year for Evan Gattis.
Oh, Gattis smoked that ball to right center field. Take a look at the 2-seam fastball that Gattis does a nice job of driving to the opposite field on a line. Shin-Soo can't quite get there. Gattis ends up at second. Is going to be there no matter where that ball carried, probably. And the Astros, as we've said, are the best offensive team in baseball. They've got a lot of good hitters throughout the lineup. Guys that hit for average, guys that hit for power, guys that can run. A well-balanced lineup.
Yeah, we put up a graphic earlier with their ranks so far this year. First in everything, average. And they're going to be a handful for whomever it is that they end up playing in the postseason. Right now, it certainly looks like it would be the Boston Red Sox.
Well, Gattis, I mentioned that ball was going to be a double no matter where it was hit. Gattis does have 12 triples in his major league career, and 11 of them came in 2015. That's a pretty remarkable stat. He has 12 triples, and he had 11 of them in 1 year. 11 triples.
Well, there aren't many guys who get 11 triples.
No.
In the span of 3 or 4
Billy
years.
Hamilton probably doesn't have 11 triples. Better check that. Probably got 14.
Yeah, that's a funky one. Three and 0 the count to Marwin Gonzalez. This has been part of the story tonight. Has been Hamels falling behind hitters.
Billy Hamilton has 10 triples, but Charlie Blackmon has 14.
Yeah. Ball 4, and there goes Gonzalez. So 2 men are on. I mean, Billy Hamilton, just for context, is like a tiny little fella, faster than anybody in the game, and he has 10 triples. That Evan Gattis would have had 11.
He must have hit a lot of balls to center field, right center field in Houston when the hill was there that caused problems for the center fielder. And that's not taking anything away, but I'm sure Evan would be the first one to say that speed is not his calling card. But he runs well enough to have 11 triples in 1 year, and not many guys who have ever played the game can say that. It's a lot of hard line drives. He's been swinging the bat well his last 8 games. 8 for 23 coming into the game, 10 for 25 right now, so he's hitting 400 in his last 6 games.
Gurriel takes the ball. 1-1 the count. Gurriel did not play yesterday. In the lineup today at first base, where you will typically find him. Coming off a nice homestand and having a really good rookie season. He joined the Astros last year briefly at the end of the year, but this is his rookie season. Veteran of the Cuban, what is it? Cuban International League? Industrial?
Yeah, I think that's it.
Strike makes it 2-2. But not a spring chicken. We were talking about older rookies last night. I mean, he's 32 years old. In fact, actually turned 33 in June. Started playing professionally in Cuba in 2001. So he's been after it for a while. And he takes strike 3 call. That is the second out of the inning.
Yeah, Gurriel, surprising that he would take 2 strikes like that. He's only walked 20 times this year. But for a guy that hits with line drive power, he's only struck out 59 times. So he makes pretty good contact. He saw a couple of pretty good pitches from Cole, a changeup, and then this cut fastball that just hits the back door there at the bottom of the strike zone. And he's a good hitter, right near the top 10 in average, top 5 or 6 in doubles. He's probably in around the top 10 in fewest strikeouts per plate appearance, per at bat, however you want to look at it. But Cole got him on a couple of great pitches right there.
Yeah, he's not messing around when he comes up there. He'll put the ball in play. And has only struck out 58 times coming into today's game. That one outside, 1-1 the count to Brian McCann. McCann, one of 2 left-handed hitters in the lineup today. ...15 home runs for him this year. Was on the disabled list recently. A sore right knee. And hits this ball out to center field. Gomez ranging back to his right, reaches up and makes a catch.
That was hit a little bit harder than Carlos thought it was. He had to go a little bit faster for that than he thought he was going to have to go, but he got there. Looked like an easy one off the bat, but as it turned out, Carlos had to extend himself and catch it over his head to get that out.
By Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. And by your local Texas Ford dealer. Ford is the best in Texas. All right, here come the Rangers now in the bottom of the 3rd inning. And another reminder, check it out at foxsportssouthwest.com. Bid now. You can get on there, check out some of the great live auction packages being offered tonight. Maybe purchase a dog tag or one of these stainless steel coffee mugs. And to help us out tonight as we raise money for Hurricane Harvey relief. All of our friends and neighbors to the south of us tonight. Delano DeShields leading things off, Shin-Soo Choo, and then Elvis Andrews. 1-1 the count. Delano got on via the error in the 1st inning and eventually scored a run on Andrews' single. There's the Rangers offense so far tonight against Keuchel, who also hit a couple of bumps in that first inning, but has settled in. He's retired 6 straight, 4 of them on strikeouts. A soft liner center field, but that one holds up long enough for Cameron Maben. 1 away.
Yeah, Keuchel's kind of at the top of his game in this game, except for the fact that he hasn't thrown the ratio of strikes to balls that he normally does, and his pitch count is way up there.
Well, another item out there tonight. You can join the excitement of live horse racing in a private suite for one race day during the 2018 live racing season. The Sunday luxury suite includes 25 suite tickets, 5 valet parking passes, suite level buffet, in-suite appetizers and beverages. And that is a great day, well spent out having a little fun with the ponies. One out here for Shin-Soo Choo. And a little tight, 1-1. And again, it's foxsportssouthwest.com to get on and get the bidding started. So an interesting spot tonight for Dallas Keuchel. This will be his last regular season start. And you and I spent a good bit of time this afternoon talking over the merits of the rotation for teams like the Astros and where they set guys up and how they get ready for the postseason. They know they're going. Keuchel and Verlander, you figure to be 1 and 2. Which one's 1, which one's 2? I mean, that's up to AJ Hinch, but Keuchel will pitch tonight and then would not pitch in the 4 games in Boston. It's a long layoff for him till he pitches again.
Yeah, and I guess they know how to stay sharp. And I've never had to put together a rotation before, but you might lean toward the opening day pitcher in a postseason being the guy that would be the most capable of coming back on short rest if you chose to do that. For instance, Corey Kluber last year came back on short rest to pitch the 3rd game of that 7-game series. So whether Verlander or Keuchel is more apt to be able to do that might be an indication who would start the first game.
He gets 2 to ground out, 2 away here in the 3rd inning. All right, little update for you, Tom. This one's already ratcheting up. It's over $3,000 now, but you can get in and bid it a little higher. How about a suite night in 2018? That's 20 tickets in a luxury suite, plus a meet and greet for 4 with Jeff Bannister during Rangers batting practice. You'll get an autographed jersey, 4 Texas Stand Tall t-shirts. So a chance to meet Banny, spend the night in the suite. And that one looks like it's been moving up quickly.
Watching a game in a suite with all the food that comes with it, that's a pretty nice item just in and of itself. But then to have 4 people be able to go down on the field and watch batting practice and talk to the big league manager, that's kind of icing on the cake. That's another thing we talked about. A lot of people have loved the opportunity to see our production truck. I've never talked to anybody who had the chance to be right near the batting cage and watch batting practice that didn't come away talking about that experience too. It's one thing to watch from the stands. It's another thing to be right next to the players and see what they look like in person. Most of them are a little bit bigger, I think, when you stand next to them than they look from way up here or when you watch him on television. Carlos Gomez is definitely one of them. He's a big guy. And then to watch the ball come off the bat and listen to the crack of the bat and see how fast the action is down there, that's exciting. And if it's something you've ever thought about, I think you'll be surprised that you're going to enjoy it even more than you thought you might. All the while getting a chance to talk to Jeff Bannister and ask him some questions while you're watching it. That's a pretty nice opportunity.
Yeah, that moment Joey Gallo walks by, that's another one of those moments.
You'd want to be down there when he's hitting.
Bouncer third base. Ooh, tough play down there at third. And Bregman can't quite handle it. Andrus on with his 2nd hit of the night.
The first one Elvis hit a little bit off the end of the bat. This one he got on top of a little bit, which created that top spin. It was hit hard with a bad hop like that. There's not much Bregman could do. Stick his glove up and hope the ball went in it. So Elvis, who has seen his average dip below 300, 11 for his last 58, still 12th in the league coming into the game with a 296 average, is 2 for 2 tonight, and making another push as the season winds down to have a second straight 300 season. He's already had a 20 home run season, been stuck on 20 for a while, but that's a nice number to be stuck on for Elvis. And if you look, I always look as the season winds down at where players would like to round their numbers off. And if you're Elvis, you've knocked in your 87th run, and you'd love to knock in 90 runs for the first time. You'd love to score another run and score 100 runs for the first time. He's already hit 40 doubles. I guess one goal that you would say Elvis would have an outside chance for is to get 200 hits. He has 186 now. Needs 14 more over the last 4 or 5 games of the season. So that's not impossible when he gets hot.
He got 2 hits tonight,
yeah,
so
a nice one to shoot for.
Keuchel to the plate, and it is 2-1 on Mazzara. We're talking about his push to 100 RBIs, sitting at 97 at the moment.
Now, players don't like to focus on their personal numbers. It sounds selfish, but baseball is the kind of sport where if you only focus on your personal numbers, which they don't do, and you take care of your personal business and you have big numbers, it's going to contribute to the overall team effort. So it doesn't necessarily mean you're selfish if you try to get, in Elvis's case now, 14 more hits for the rest of the season. That's not going to be selfish. That's going to help his team. There are certain things that come into play over the course of the season that are team oriented. Moving a runner from second to third by maybe giving yourself up by hitting a ground ball the other way, taking a pitch.
Well, and now they're going to have a run down. Andrews took off, feeling like he had a read on that first move, but instead caught stealing to end the inning. So the inning done, and we go to the 4th, 4-1.
When the storm was raging, Rangers part owner Neil Liebman, who lives in Houston, told me that he and most of his friends can't get flood insurance. They could afford it, they just can't get it because it's not prudent for the insurance companies to give it to people in that area. Tonight, we are the insurance company for so many people who need your help, and I guarantee you will not mind writing an insurance check that nets you this: a luxury night, a sweet night with the Dallas Stars, 18 people, food and beverage, and you get parking as well, and you go see the Dallas Stars, and we have one for the Dallas Mavericks too. We thank all the local teams for supporting our efforts here tonight. The Mavericks have a VIP game experience that includes the suite and the parking and the food and beverage and a Dirk bobblehead that's signed, plus a post-game tour of the locker room. So that's a great one. That's an easy check to write, way better than your normal insurance payment, guys.
Well, what a way to do it, though. That is awesome. A fun night, and again, for a great cause. Trying to help some folks out. It's a night where the Astros and Rangers get together for the 18th time this year. They'll play their final game head-to-head tomorrow. Great in-state rivalry. Of course, the competition has always been intense between these two. But a night tonight where it's also fun to be able to get together and trying to help our friends out a little bit. Cameron Maben falls behind here 1-2. Won't chase that one. Hamels has settled in a little bit since that choppy start. Allowed 4 runs in the first inning. Works with some pretty good tempo. It's 2-2. And it's a full count. Boy, he has had a lot of those tonight. Some deep counts. That's his 6th 3-ball count of the night.
Yeah, he's thrown 65 pitches, a lot of pitches, and only 34 of them have been strikes.
And there's a walk to Maben. Well, our Kubota power stats tonight regarding Cole Hamels. We know that he has been a winner since he joined the Rangers, and he has been a workhorse as well. 12th consecutive season with at least 20 starts. So Verlander, James Shields, they're the only others right now in Major League Baseball that can boast that same stretch, 12 straight years. Tony Kemp showed bunt. Speedy left fielder. 0 for 1. He struck out in the second inning. Kemp got some time last night. A lot of guys got a little time last night because there were a lot of substitutions late in that ball game. The Astros won the opener yesterday 11-2. For Kemp, though, he's on a tough little stretch right now, hitless in his last 14 at bats, and he's in a hole here 0-2. Last night came in as a defensive replacement. That was in the 7th inning. He's been up and down a couple of times from AAA to the big club. It's just the 13th game, though, in which he has played this year. Picks one up and away. Runner going. The throw down to second. And Maben is in there. That's his 33rd stolen base of the season.
Got a pretty good jump. Robinson got rid of the ball quickly, made a pretty strong throw. I don't know if that ball landed right in front of the bag if he would have had him in time. Maben with pretty solid jump, good speed, head first dive. Second in the league in stolen bases.
Count stays 1-2 on Kemp. And now batting with a man in scoring position. The Astros 3 for 7 tonight. With runners in scoring position. They've already had, this will be their 21st at bat in this series already, with a runner at second and or third base, and it's 2-2. So Hamels been working with a little traffic out there today. The only inning in which he had a 1-2-3, that was in the second. And it's off the plate, full count. So Kemp's second at bat of the night. I mentioned he'd been up and down a few times. He led all of AAA with 166 hits this year. Real productive season, and ball 4 gets away. And in fact, Maben will advance to third base. It's a walk for Kemp. And I'm gathering a wild pitch that allows Maben to advance. It is a wild pitch. Now to the top of the order, and our TXU Energy Power Player to watch. George Springer, 33 home runs when hitting first in the order. And what's amazing about that is he's one of 3 guys in the big leagues with 30 home runs out of the leadoff spot.
Yeah, I think your first reaction would be, boy, he's the only guy leading off that's got 30 home runs this year. Well, Charlie Blackmon's one of them. Who's the third one?
Brian Dozier.
Brian Dozier, okay.
And Springer takes strike 1. Charlie Blackmon, potential National League MVP.
Gotta be. 14 triples, 30+ home runs. Leading the league in hitting.
1-1 to Springer. And the Rockies currently a game-and-a-half lead in the wild card race over Milwaukee. Rockies right now, if the season were to end today, would be the final wild card entrant in the National League, but it's far from done.
When you look at the numbers that Charlie Blackmon has put up, first, he's leading the league in hitting. He's in the top 5 in home runs. He has 36 home runs. He's going to knock in 100 runs. He has 97. Leads the league in runs scored. He scored 134 runs. Leads the league in hits. He has 204. Total bases. He's in the top 10 in doubles. 14 triples leads the league. Man, if those aren't MVP numbers, that's one of the better, has to be one of the better seasons a leadoff hitter's ever had. I mean, you can compare that to what Ricky Henderson ever did. Now, he doesn't have the stolen bases that Ricky did, but obviously Ricky never put up those kind of offensive numbers. Just we don't get to see him playing in the National League, but what an incredible year he's had.
Runners on the corners, nobody out here, and the 1-2 to Springer, a little bit in. So let's take a look at that National League wild card race. We don't talk about it a ton, but Arizona took command of things. They're in really good shape. Colorado, a game-and-a-half lead over Milwaukee. Both the Brewers and the Rockies currently winning their games tonight. St. Louis not out of the question. 81-75. They're 2.5 back. So they could certainly still sneak in it. They're leading their ball game right now. At home over the Cubs in the 3rd inning.
Well, Charlie Blackmon just has a little bit of power surge the last part of the season. His slugging percentage is going to be over 600 for a leadoff hitter. And I guess with the home runs, the doubles, and the triples, 85 extra base hits, that stands to reason he would have a high slugging percentage. .78 pitches for Cole with nobody out in the 4th inning. And almost an equal amount of balls and strikes. 40 strikes and now 39 balls.
Just battling it so far. A couple of walks this inning. Has him in a tad bit of trouble. This is 3-ball count. Nick Gardewine getting ready out of the bullpen. 20th pitch of the inning, and it is lined over third, but foul. There we go. Be a while before that adrenaline rush wears off. Pretty jacked up. 3-2. And fouled away again. Well, this is a bat by Springer now. The 9th pitch of the at-bat coming up. Walk. He's also flied out. Springer has scored a run. The 3-2. And a flare over second base. That one will drop in, base hit. Maben comes in from third base. Kemp stops at second on the Springer single. 5-1 Houston. And here comes Jeff Bannister. What a tough go here for Cole Hamels. And Banny has seen enough. He'll take the baseball. So that's it. Hamels done 3+ innings tonight. And Nick Gardewine will be the new pitcher when we come back. Here in relief, and listen, a couple more interesting packages for you to check out at foxsportssouthwest.com. And thanks to our friends at Room to Go for these. Update your living space. Some great furniture collections here. One from the Cindy Crawford collection, and you'll also get free delivery. The other from the Sofia Vergara selection. Sleek modern leather sectional. All that from Rooms to Go. You also get the free delivery. So real nice way to chip into the effort tonight. The Hurricane Harvey relief benefit. And again, you can check it all out and get your bidding going. foxsportssouthwest.com. All right, here is Nick Gardewine.
We'll check out the Ford pitch arsenal for Nick. A lot of fastballs. 3/4 of the time he'll throw his fastball, and it's a good one, mid-90s fastball. He'll throw a cutter that's also 90 miles an hour, in the 90s, 90 miles an hour, which means almost 96% of the time he's throwing a fastball. And occasionally he'll mix in a changeup, and that's almost 90 miles an hour. That's 88 miles an hour.
Well, Bregman got started, couldn't stop on that fastball. Bregman, who is singled, scored a run. He's also flied out to right field. So 1 for 2. Astros got 4 runs in the first, another here in the 4th inning. And it's 1-1. Gardewine, he's ended up getting some legitimate experience at the end of this season. That's one of the upsides to the way things have gone this year. Broken bat bloop out over shortstop. That one drops in for a base hit. Kemp in from second base. He scores on the Bregman single. 6-1 Houston. Well, that one crushed that bat, but got out there far enough to bring home another run. Well, another package that will certainly draw a lot of interest. The Dallas Cowboys VIP game day experience. 4 luxury suite tickets, sideline passes, stadium club passes to a game this year during the regular season. Plus, you'll get an autographed football signed by the team. I've bid on this one already, a little over $3,000. Go check it out now, foxsportssouthwest.com. Line drive into left field. That's a base hit, but the Astros will go station to station. And Correa's single loads them up here in the 4th inning.
Well, Correa's hit a couple of balls hard in this game. Actually, he's hit 3 balls hard. The line drive to right field, he hit pretty hard for an out in the 3rd inning. But his double down the line, drove in 2 in the 1st inning, was hit even harder than that line shot to left field. That one was hit so hard, Springer couldn't score from second base on it. Games like this and last night, you see why the Astros have the best offensive team in baseball. You just have a lineup that's tough to pitch to. A lot of guys in this lineup can hit with power and hit for average.
Yeah,
that's not even their regular lineup.
I was going to say, they're not really even at full strength here.
No.
They have the best hitter in the American League on the bench tonight.
And another top 10 guy in Reddick.
Yeah.
Who's on the bench as well.
There's Jose Altuve. Two runs are in, bases are loaded, nobody out for Gaddis. And he'll pop this one foul out of play. Now, this was last night, Jose Altuve. And Jose Leclerc just got away from him. You could see later the look on his face. He was just sick. And got in and got him on the forearm.
Where that pitch was, the result is about as good as you could hope for. That ball could have hit him in the face, could have broken a bone in his wrist. So the quick move that he made to duck away from that ball kept something even worse from happening. So fortunately, he's okay. The last thing you want to see is any player get hurt. And at this time of year, for a team that has aspirations to go to the World Series and win it, you don't want your best player watching from the sidelines.
You can see
Still feeling it.
Yeah. Pretty
obvious.
One-two to Gaddis. Swing and a miss, strike 3. So Gardewine records his first out of the night. And that's a big one to take care of Gaddis there. 1 away in the 4th inning. Well, A.J. Hinch said before the game today that part of the plan was to give Altuve a little bit of time. He wants to rest some of his regulars now and again as they get ready for their postseason run. And so, for better or for worse, tonight would be one of those nights. I figured that question was certainly answered for him. And, you know, for some of these managers, it's hard to get your regulars out of the lineup. You know, regardless what lies ahead for them, these guys, they like to play and they want to be in the lineup. They want a chance to go back to a conversation we were having an inning or so ago. You know, some of them have some numbers that they'd like to achieve before the regular season ends.
Yeah, I think in most cases toward the end of the year, a manager goes out of his way to try to accommodate his players. And they've been busting it for the manager all season long. They put together a great season. And so why not give them the opportunity to achieve some goals that they may have set for themselves at the beginning of the year. We were talking about that a little earlier. It doesn't necessarily make you a selfish player because you're concerned about goals that you set personally before the season started for yourself.
1-1 on Marwin Gonzalez. So speaking of the pending postseason right now, you see on the left side of the American League side, Cleveland with the best record in baseball. If the regular season ended today, the wild card game would be the Twins and the Yankees in New York. Winner going on to play the Indians. The Astros and Red Sox would begin a best-of-5 in Houston. That's after finishing the season with 4 games in Boston. 1-2 the count on Marwin Gonzalez. Well, this is the 5th at bat that the Astros have had in this series already with the bases loaded. And despite putting up some really big numbers yesterday, at the moment they're 1 for 4 with the bases loaded. Springer's at third, Bregman at second, Correa at first. Here's the crazy part, though, Tom. So they're 1 for 4 with the bases loaded. They've scored 5 runs. And you say, what? Well, they had a 2-run single. They had a bases loaded walk. So there's 3 of them. And then twice there were errors that allowed the inning to continue.
Yeah, the error in that 8-run inning at the beginning of that 8-run inning was a killer in last night's game for sure. 7 of those 8 runs were unearned.
Well, Gonzalez has been on twice tonight. Singled in a run in the first inning, walked his last time up, stays alive here at 1-2. Switch hitter and a guy who can be used everywhere. And I would put him in the sort of the Mark McLemore doctor defense category, that the super sub, whatever you want to call it. The problem is when you're a guy like Marwin Gonzalez or like Mark McLemore was here, is that people will talk about guys being utility players or subs, but that's not accurate. They're everyday guys. They have to be in the lineup pretty much every day.
Yeah,
Ben Zobrist is a guy in that area.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think when you hear utility, you think of a guy that doesn't play every day, that fills in when you need him. But these guys, you have to put the word super in there if you call them utility players, because they're everyday players.
You refer to a guy, well, he's the first baseman. Okay, yeah, he's the everyday first baseman. He's a vital part of that lineup every day, etc. But then there are guys like Gonzalez, who has played everywhere on the diamond except pitcher and catcher. Mac was very similar in that way. And again, guys like Ben Zobrist come to mind.
And Joey Gallo hasn't played 6 positions this year, but he's played 3, which is pretty unusual for a young power hitter to be able to do a solid job at 3 different positions, first, third, and the outfield. So if someone said to you, what position is Joey Gallo, you'd have a hard time saying he's a first baseman, a third baseman, or an outfielder right now, because he's played all 3 of them. Not even sure which one he's played the most.
Toronto winds 2-2. Bouncer, first base. Will come to the plate, and we get the force out there on to first. Double play.
That's an unusual double play.
That deep to go 3-2-3. Really well done. Ryan Rua picks up the double play, and the Rangers out of any further trouble.
welcome you back to Globe Life Park in Arlington and continue our Harvey Relief Telethon. And I'm here with Pat Stern and Jerry Raymond of Rooms to Go, and you guys have been so generous, Pat. Here tonight, we're going to talk about what you're doing here tonight in a minute, but first I want to talk about what you've already done as a corporation to help these people financially.
Yeah, we've made a significant contribution, and we're very pleased to just be involved in helping the community and doing whatever we can, and we're really excited about the effort that we've made so far.
Yeah, and not just Houston, but you guys are helping those along the Gulf Coast, Florida, everywhere, just to try to help monetarily, but also too with furniture.
Right. We've donated over 1,000 rooms to both Harvey and Irma relief funds, along with $1 million of each for Harvey and Irma relief funds.
And tonight, very special items up for bid, including a couple of very special ladies who have collections featured at Rooms to Go. Tell us about the first one.
We have a Cindy Crawford sectional that is unbelievably beautiful, and you got to bid it up.
Just like Cindy Crawford herself.
Exactly.
And Sophia Vergara, not too shabby herself. A collection by her as well?
Yes, sir. And we, if you're an Astros fan, I'd like to have you bid it up, please.
Okay, so they've got a friendly competition going here. We've got Pat, who is the Ranger fan, and Jerry, who is the Astros fan. And so they're having a friendly competition. So that's a little bit more incentive for you guys to bid these collections up. Obviously, every penny goes to such a wonderful cause, helping out the victims of Hurricane Harvey. We thank Rooms to Go for all that you've done, not only here in Texas, but what you've done in Florida as well. Thank you guys so much for being with us and for your donations. We appreciate it. Guys, we'll send it back to you.
All right, thanks, Em. Nomar Mazara starting this fourth inning. 1-2 the count on Nomar. Adrian Beltre, Carlos Gomez to follow. 6-1 Houston. And again, online, it's foxsportssouthwest.com. Check out all the packages and get involved in the live auction tonight. Keuchel having a little trouble there with McCann, figuring out exactly what they wanted to do. So Mazar takes a break. Swing and a miss, and that's strike 3. So Dallas Keuchel now with 5 strikeouts tonight.
Yeah, Keuchel has been sharp. He's had to throw a lot of pitches because of the first inning, and the error was a major factor. He's been all around the edges of the plate and not very much in the middle of the plate. 5 strikeouts now with 1 out in the 4th inning.
One of the guys you got, Adrian Beltre, back in the 1st inning, up for a 2nd time tonight. And mentioned it earlier, the 3,000 hit package, the autographed lineup card from his 3,000 hit game. Autographed commemorative baseball as well from Adrian, and he'll autograph a cap for you as well. Great prize to get tonight as he rolls out to shortstop, and there are 2 away. Let's go to foxsportssouthwest.com, and it's a way to get a little piece of Rangers history, Adrian Beltre history. As Adrian wants to have a word or sit down for a moment with Nick Gardewine. That was funny. Gardewine trying to get up and get off the bench.
No, he tried to get out of Adrian's way as if this is Adrian's seat. And Adrian said, hey, you're pitching, man. Sit down. You don't have to get up for me.
Now here's Carlos Gomez. We were on our flight the other night from Seattle to Oakland. Late at night. It was one of those things. And it's very crowded in September. You have all these extras with the September call-ups. You have the extra ball players. There's extra staff members as well who come along this time of year. And so, it was a crowded flight. And as we got on, everybody settled into their normal spots. Well, there's Adrian Beltre walking up and down the aisle, helping guys find seats. Some of the younger players, making sure that they got a seat, and we're in the right spot, sitting with the ball club. Gomez turns this one foul. 0-2 the count. A couple pitches ago, Gomez.
He's got a lot of protection, but it only goes down to above the ankle.
Keuchel's 2-strike pitch. Swing and a miss. He gets Gomez, and it's a 1-2-3. for the Astros left-hander. He's pretty sharp through 4 tonight.
To provide relief for the victims of Hurricane Harvey. So even as we're watching and talking about baseball tonight, the people in Houston, I talked to my friends who are on the Houston broadcast crew, and their friends are basically finding the line where the water was in their house and then taking some sort of a circular saw and then cutting a line and then tearing all the wet stuff off and putting it out on the curb and then fixing the rest of it themselves, because there are no contractors to do that work for them. That's what they're doing while we're watching baseball. So the least we can do is bid things like this great Texas Motors Speedway package up. What a great package we have. All you NASCAR fans, take note. 4 tickets to the AAA Texas 500 Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series playoff race. That's a playoff race. 4 exclusive Dale Earnhardt Jr. T-shirts, 4 loud and proud pre-race show passes, front of the stage access for that pre-race concert, plus a VIP parking pass. All of that instead of removing drywall and carpeting from your house and putting it out. And then, of course, once you remove it, you've got to replace it yourself because there are still no contracts. There's a lot of work going on down there. The least we can do is try to help them up by bidding things like this great package up, guys.
Indeed, you see some of the footage. This is Orance's pass. One of the first spots hit down on the Gulf. And that's when Harvey was a hurricane. Then he backed out onto the Gulf again, reloaded with water, and went back inland. In fact, the damage went all the way 50 miles past downtown Houston.
Wow.
And, of course, with ancillary heavy rains way all the way out toward San Antonio. But the real damage, you know, a good 80 miles in off the coast, and just so many people affected. And it's going to take months and months to work out of it. As A.J. Griffin has come on to pitch here in the 5th inning. 3rd pitcher of the night.
That's the thing that goes through your mind when you see how many homes were affected. And even if you've had the good fortune of having the volunteers come by to clean the bottom of your house of all the debris, with all the homes, how in the world do you find enough builders to have it rebuilt in any kind of a timely fashion? It seems like that would be years down the road that these people are going to have to make arrangements to live somewhere else. Even if you wanted to, you can't live in those homes.
No, it is just obviously heartbreaking to see as Gurriel shoots this one down the first base line and into the right field corner, and Gurriel will pedal his way to second base with a leadoff double.
Gurriel looked completely out of sorts in that at bat. He swung at a fastball after it hit the catcher's glove. He's behind in the count, and he's just kind of defending home plate with this swing. Swings late and ends up slicing a little ground ball right down the right field line. And in a bat where he couldn't feel like he was going to aggressively attack the baseball and get a hit in that at bat. I think that's why he's smiling right now. He ends up with a double.
You can tell by the way he's shaking his head.
40th double of the season. He's had some hit harder than that, but that one counts the same as any of them.
So he's out there in scoring position for Brian McCann now. McCann 0 for 2. Griffin's third relief outing this season. Spent the better part of the year in the rotation, but has been displaced in this last month and change, and so has had to find his spots out of the bullpen. We were talking about this the other day in Oakland. It's not a spot he's totally uncomfortable with. It's his first start in the minor leagues. He was a closer. In fact, led the league with 15 saves in his first season in minor league baseball. And when he went to college, was a closer for his first couple of years in college. Eventually an all-conference player out in Southern California. So when I was asking him, well, are you comfortable out there? You like it? How do you bounce back? That sort of stuff. He said, look, man, I just like to pitch. AJ's one of those guys. He does have a pretty unique ability to keep things really simple. This ball hit well, way out to right field, and that is way gone. Brian McCann just unloaded a 2-run homer. 16th of the year for him, and it's 8-1 Houston.
That's McCann's 292nd home run as a catcher. He's 8th in the history of Major League Baseball home runs by a catcher. So he's been there before. That pitch is right down the middle of the plate, and McCann does what he's done 292 times this year. Actually, he hasn't done them all this year. That'd be a pretty good season in his career.
That would be a pretty good season, all right. Well, that was a shot. Now Cameron Maben, and he takes strike one. 417 feet out there to right field. Well, Maben hits one out to the alley in left field, and that one gets down. Gomez will track it down near the wall. Maben, with his great speed, says he'll try for 3, and he may have a chance for an inside the Parker. Maben just circled the bases.
That'll be a triple and an error on the long-range throw from Carlos Gomez. Carlos got the ball near the wall out there and just launched it. Unfortunately, Adrian couldn't get to it in time. It kicked off the wall, and Maben comes all the way around. Hit that exactly between the two outfielders. Here comes Carlos just airing it out. Whoops. A little bit to the right. And here comes Maben. Flying home.
Triple and an error on Gomez, and this one comes in and gets a piece of Tony Kemp. And so another base runner now for the Astros. A double, a home run, a triple, and a hit batter this inning. And here comes Doug Brocail. I mentioned it earlier. Rangers' elimination number today was 1. Didn't exactly control their own destiny tonight, because even had they come out here and just blown the Astros out, Minnesota could still take care of business by winning their own game. Minnesota is trailing right now, 7th inning in Cleveland. But this one has not gone the way the Rangers had hoped either. Here's George Springer. Springer with an RBI single. So 11 runs yesterday, 9 runs today for this Astros team. And AJ still searching for it out there. Ground ball, third base, fair ball. That one stays inside the line. Kemp has great speed. He'll get to third. Springer will stop at second. Astros have hit for the cycle this inning.
That's just one of those games. The Astros have pounded the ball, but even when they haven't hit the ball hard, what they've hit has found a hole.
So second and third now with nobody out. Bregman already with 2 hits tonight. Swings and misses. And strike one. Yesterday, Bregman had 2 hits. In fact, he's 2 for 3 with an RBI. Fouls this one off and a whole 0-2. So already a good series for him. A guy who knows a little something about the area hurt by Hurricane Harvey. Went to school at LSU. Was introduced to hurricanes very quickly in his college career. And when we saw these guys in Tampa, because these two teams faced one another right after Harvey had hit Houston, there was no place to play it. We ended up rather in Tampa. Well, Bregman was telling me that like the day before, maybe 2 days before that one hit, that his younger brother, who had been with them all summer, had just taken off to go back home for the school year and just got out of Houston in time. Been staying there all summer, and otherwise would have been caught in that hurricane. This one popped up out into center field. Gomez backing up. He'll get underneath it. Tagging at third, Kemp. He'll score on the sacrifice fly. And so 4 runs in the inning, and it is 10-0 Houston. I should correct myself. It is not a cycle yet in the inning. Not that it's the type of thing that is even kept as a real stat, but because Gurriel had a double, as did Springer. No single yet in the inning. Anyway, 10-1 Houston. Consecutive games in double digits for this Astros offense. Last time they did that was right around the All-Star break. The day before on July 9th, the day after on July 14th. Oh, and 2 to Carlos Correa. Correa's driven in a couple today, 2 hits in his 3 tries. And a breaking ball, that one lined out to the gap, left center field. Springer in easily, and Correa second base. He has 3 hits tonight. It's 11-1 Houston. And here comes Jeff Bannister. So Yoander Mendez will be the next pitcher for the Astros when we come back. I said there'd be days, but my goodness. Hey, change the subjects, Tom. You like golf? Who doesn't like golf? You can golf with Pudge. You take two great things and put them together, and one winner can bring two guests. Current bid up over $4,500 at the moment. You play around with Pudge at the Las Colinas Country Club. You get 3 autographed copies if they call me Pudge. And trust me, it'll be a very memorable round. And by the way, he's good, so bring your game that day.
Yep, I love golf and I love Pudge. And if you love golf, you will love to play with Pudge because he'll play serious golf, and at the same time, you'll have 4 hours of extreme enjoyment because he'll keep you in a good mood the whole round.
Will he give you a breakfast ball off the first tee?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure. That kind of a thing, when you're paying to play, you can have a breakfast ball on every hole if you want one. You can keep the scorecard. You can say you shot 5 under par.
Yeah.
Doesn't really matter.
No.
There will be some witnesses to attest to your score, but you can come away and say whatever you want. Pudge will probably shoot, I'd say, about 75, 76.
Gaddis batting here in the 5th inning. There's Yoander Mendez. He is the 3rd relief pitcher tonight. As we take a look at his forward pitch arsenal. Another youngster getting more time here in September.
Fastball, slider, and an occasional changeup. He's got a good changeup. I think over time that 8% would get a little bit higher.
Off the end of the bat, cued toward first. And Mendez covers nicely to get the 2nd out of the inning. Meanwhile, Correa over at 3rd base. So in the years that you have played golf, and you've played with a lot of former players, celebrities, etc. So what's the most memorable round that you've had?
Oh boy. Let's see. I guess the opportunity to play with my golfing partner, Kurt Dykert. I could pick a number of places we played, but probably the time we got to play at Pine Valley has to go down as my all-timer. Obviously, Pine Valley has been rated, I believe, the #1 course in the world year after year after year, and we had the opportunity to play there, and that was one of the highlights.
Yeah, I was going to say, is there a
the highlight of that day was the fact that we were late getting there. Kurt has never been early in his life, and so we get a chance to play there, and we get lost. You can't find the place. It's in the middle of the woods, and we knew we had to get there on time. We got there about a minute before our tee time. Fortunately, the first tee was right across the parking lot from where we parked, and as we stopped the car, 2 caddies came up and yelled at us, "Pop the trunk." So Kurt popped the trunk. They grabbed our clubs. They said, "Now get on the tee. The president of the club is in the fairway. He does not like to look back and not see the next group." And so we had driven for, I'm not sure, an hour and a half. We got out of the cart, never took a practice swing. The guy handed us our driver, and we each swung and then started our round. Was not a memorable way to start that round, but fortunately the course itself was so magnificent that it made up for our shortcomings as far as our round went, as far as the way we played. It's one of those courses you hear so much about it, and you go there and you say, well, there's no way it can actually live up to what I've heard about it. And then almost every step you take on that course, you could turn and take what you thought would be a great picture. It was that beautiful. So that, as you asked, the most memorable, that has to be right up there as #1.
It's a good one. That's also real efficient use of your time.
Yeah.
I mean,
you know,
no
of all
wasted
days. Now, I like to get there early. I like to go into the pro shop. I like to check out the restaurant. I like to take plenty of time on the practice tee, just kind of soak up the whole thing. And if you're ever going to do that, that was the place to do it. Instead, we're teeing off right straight out of the car. I was just glad I didn't pull a muscle swinging. I do know the first ball went into the trees on the right, and it was downhill from there. But fortunately, it was so beautiful, it made up for it.
Pop up out into right field. Chu able to get there, and the inning is over. But the Astros add 5 more to their tally tonight, and they're running away with this one in the 5th. Montgomery, 11-1. Pretty much all the summarizing you need right there. Well, you had to pick out one guy. Carlos Correa, 3 for 4 with a couple of doubles. Has been right in the mix for their big innings so far. And Dallas Keuchel, even though it was a rough beginning there, the first 3 hitters, boy, has settled in. Set down 11 of the last 12 he has faced, and he'll go to work here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Chirinos, Odor, and Ryan Rua are due.
Dave, I have to finish the last part of the Pine Valley story. I left out the best part of the story. Not as far as anything to add to the golf, but that was our host, Bill Dunlop, who made it possible for us to play there in the first place, and said to Kurt, they'll treat you like kings at this course, but don't be late for your tee time. And so, you know, Kurt's never been nervous about being a little bit late, but he was nervous this day. Base hit for Robinson to left field. And as we pulled up, we looked at the first tee, and we saw Bill on the first tee with his hands on his hips, just kind of glaring at the car. And so it took maybe a couple of holes for the ice to be broken and for us to get in the golfing mood, and I guess for Bill to probably feel that way. But anyway, he was a most gracious host, and I never would have had that opportunity, and neither would Kurt. We always called ourselves over the years America's guests because we got to play at so many great places. But this was the best, and it wouldn't have been possible without Bill Dunlap. So I don't know if you're listening, Bill. If you are, thanks again. That was our most memorable day at a golf course. And if we get invited again,
we'll be on time.
We will not be late. So I'll make sure of that.
He's forgiven you?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah. I don't know if we'll ever get the opportunity, but if we do, I'm going to get there 2 hours ahead of time. We missed breakfast in the club dining room. We missed the tee, the practice tee. And in spite of all that, it still was the greatest day.
Yeah, that's the best part of it. 1-1 to Rougned Odor here in the 5th inning. You see at the bottom of the screen there, bid now, foxsportssouthwest.com. Check it out. We kind of got off on this fun conversation about a round of golf, but you can win a round of golf with Pudge Rodriguez.
And then when someone asks you your most memorable round of golf, it could easily be at the golf course with Pudge.
Yep. And you might, might show up a little early, be on time. Although I don't know, maybe it's okay. 2-1 pitch, and there's a strike to Rugi. By the way, one little defensive change for the Astros is Derek Fisher now is coming in right field. Springer will get the rest of the night off.
Real quickly, though, I do have one that comes close to that. And again, it was with all my memorable golf days were with Kurt. We got a chance to play.
Ground ball, second base. They'll go to second for one. The relay to first in time. 4-6-3.
I love to watch Correa throw. When he has to throw the ball hard, he comes straight over the top, and if you put him on a mound, he's 96 or 97 with that arm that he's got.
And his momentum was going the other way too, right? I mean, that's an odd play.
You'll get a chance to watch him throw right here. Boom, right straight over the top. If you grade arms, that's about as high as you can grade an infielder's arm right there. Anyway, we got a chance to play at Baltimore, and we were the first people to tee off. It's about probably 7:30. There's not one single sound on this course. There's no wind. There's not a cloud in the sky. And it's about 65 degrees out. And we're teeing off, and I think Kurt teed off first. When he hit the ball, it sounded like a firecracker going off, and all the trees that were there. And we just kind of looked at each other at the same time and said, how in the world can we be here on this golf course right now? And I can't remember how we played that day, but that was a pretty memorable day. Beautiful day on a beautiful golf course. We've had so many opportunities. I wish, well, Kurt's a much better golfer than I am. I wish the quality of my game met the same quality of the courses we've had a chance to play. I feel a lot better about it, but it doesn't take away from the beauty of some of these golf courses.
Fouled back 0-2. I've seen your game. It's pretty good. Again, you can golf with Pudge, who has a better game yet. You and two guests, a round of golf with Pudge at the Las Colinas Country Club, and then 3 autograph books. They call me Pudge. Register and bid foxsportssouthwest.com. Current bid now is up over $5,000, and all the proceeds going to charity to help our friends to the south out on the Gulf Coast after Hurricane Harvey. Scoreless, bottom of the 5th. We go to the 6th inning. Tonight. Saw another great idea that they put together. It's a sweet night, and a night in which you get to meet and greet Jeff Bannister. 20-person suite for a game next season. 4 people get to meet and greet the skipper down on the field during batting practice. Get an autographed jersey from Banny as well, and t-shirts. I mean, great item, great idea. And we were talking about it earlier. If you're a baseball fan at all, be down on the field during batting practice, and just the energy, the excitement, and the awe with which you will be left watching batting practice. It's pretty awesome. So that's a great item. FoxSportsSouthwest.com. Register and bid now. Live auction items tonight. Gurriel starts off this 6th inning with a base hit. And time for a Chevy game break. Let's check in with John Radigan.
Dave, thank you. Angels hanging on to their playoff hopes, too. Their tragic number at 2, and they're still battling. Mike Trout, 3-run blast. That's his 31st homer of the season and the 164th since the start of 2013. And right now it's the Angels with a 6-2 lead in the 7th inning, guys.
Well, it would have been nice to see what kind of a year Trout had this year if he didn't get hurt. You still hear people talking about him in the MVP race. We talked a little bit about that last night with Altuve. One's going to Nick McCann, Aaron Judge. And even though Trout missed a significant amount of time, the spectacular numbers he's put up still put him in the conversation.
Center fielder Cameron Maybin.
And oh,
there it
man,
is. It hit the uniform.
Yes, it did.
I don't think it hit him, but it touched the uniform, and you can hear that. That's probably how the umpire was able to call that. I didn't hear it, but I bet the umpire did.
Gurriel to second, McCann at first. And here is Cameron Maybin. Now, speaking of Trout, I saw something today. It's funny how, you know, we can look at statistics and maybe for a specific player or whatever, and see how guys stand up against one another. Every once in a while, somebody will, you know, they'll pose it a different way. I think Mookie Betts drove in his 100th run today. Does that sound right?
Yeah, probably did.
I think the note that I saw, and this was an interesting way to make the observation.
Actually, he didn't drive it in today. He had 101.
Okay. So the observation was that Mookie Betts now has driven in 100 runs in a season, the same number of times that Mike Trout has. Maybin drives this ball high in the air and deep to left field and gone. A 3-run homer for Cameron Maybin, his 10th of the season. Somebody stop the hammering. (14-1).
Let's check the location of this high fastball. 94 miles an hour, but in that location, it becomes a pretty good pitch to hit. And by the result, you would have to say that Maybin enjoyed the location of that fastball. Last 3 innings, he's had a walk, a triple, and a home run. 3 RBIs and scored 3 runs. Third player to have 3 RBIs in this game for the Astros. Correa, McCann. Actually, McCann has 2, I guess. And Maybin.
Kemp has scored 2 runs. He's walked, been hit by a pitch, also struck out.
Oh, McCann does have 3. Sorry, he does have 3.
3-0 the count.
Yeah, Trout this year has an OPS of 1067. He leads the league in on-base percentage by 26 points. And he leads Aaron Judge in slugging percentage. And he's in the top 10 in hitting. He's number 6 with a 309 average.
Now, my guess is he's not going to get it, right?
Probably not.
You think he could finish second?
Yeah,
I think that's really possible, right?
I think the numbers that he's put up, even though the overall numbers, home runs, RBIs, aren't going to be as great because of the time he missed. But when you look at the quality of his performance when he has played, it puts him in the conversation. The Angels aren't going to go to the postseason, but they've been a contender, and he's been a significant part of that for sure. So yeah, I think he'll be in the top 3.
Base hit there by Kemp. That's 20 hits. Oh, no. Pardon me. That's 16 hits. It just feels like 20. So Mendez gets a short visit. And now Derek Fisher, who came in defensively last inning. And he gets his first at bat of the night. Under Mendez, this is up and in. Fisher in for George Springer, and we saw this last night. Both teams started to substitute liberally toward the end of the game, and the substituting tonight starts a little earlier. 14-1. And a breaking ball in there. Or strike 2. Fisher last night reached base 3 times, a hit, a walk, and he was also hit by a pitch. This is his second stint with a big club and shoots it foul.
Boy, there's one where the net saves somebody. How there could possibly be a park in big league baseball that hasn't put the net up yet after some of the injuries that we've seen is mind-boggling to me. Hopefully by next year every team will have put nets up. I think eventually the nets need to extend even farther than they are now.
And a handful of teams have already announced that they're extending their netting for next year as Fisher strikes out. One away here in the 6th inning. Tom, this one might be for you, Tom. I think you might want to consider this. You want a guest, an opportunity to go to a table read for an episode of The Simpsons during season 30 next year. Sit there with the cast of the crew, go through the table read for another episode of, I think it's the longest running program in history. Is this one lined into left field, a base hit for Alex Bregman. And 2 more base runners aboard here for the Astros. That's a rare opportunity. You don't get to go to Hollywood and just sit down with the cast and crew of the most popular sitcom of all time and work things out together.
One of my bucket list things for the off season is going to be watch a full episode of The Simpsons.
There you go.
Of The Symptoms of The Simpsons. just so I at least have some kind of a clue when someone talks about it in the future. But I know they have a lot of fans, and for the opportunity to go there and sit there while they practice their show, that would be an incredible opportunity. I know Josh Lewin would be in on that. He was a huge fan of The Simpsons, yeah. So I'm going to make an effort to be a little more up to date on that.
It's too late. It's 30 years old.
Well, you know, how many times have you heard someone say better late than never? Have you ever heard that phrase before?
I have.
Okay. Yeah. So would you rather, when you announce a game with me next year, announce with someone who's never seen a full episode of The Simpsons,
What are your symptoms?
or be able to say, my partner has watched a full episode of that?
Tom,
does it matter to you?
It doesn't matter to me.
Okay.
I love working with you now. You've never seen one.
Well, then I'm not going to watch it then.
Yeah,
I don't really want to that badly.
Right, you don't want to. Don't watch the thing.
Okay, there you go. I thought I was going to do you a favor.
Oh, no, it won't do me any favors.
I know the first thing my wife would say.
Turn it off.
You can watch it, but don't do it while I'm in the room. It's all right. I can think of some things I've watched that no one's watched in 30 years, too.
I'm going to get up to date this offseason. I'm going to watch a couple episodes of Gunsmoke.
You ever seen one?
Of course, yeah.
About Laramie.
No, I've never seen that.
There you go. That was a good Western back in the day.
2-2. Correa fouls it off. Correa's had a real good night. 3 hits, 3 RBIs.
How about Father Knows Best? You ever see that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, good for you. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I don't know what it was, but
you must have watched Nickelodeon as a kid.
no, I didn't. I don't know if they had it when I was a kid. In Nebraska, we had limited options on the old television set. But my dad used to love watching some older shows, that were no longer in the mainstream. So, as an example, Honeymooners.
Oh,
we used to watch Honeymooners.
That's my father's all-time favorite show, which became one of my all-time favorites.
Liner out to right field, and Chu is there. 2 away. I love the Honeymooners.
Now, another one that I would be very interested in, we talked about this before the show started, the Fox NFL Sunday VIP visit. If you love football, which a lot of us love football, play fantasy football, the chance to go there and sit with Howie Long, Jimmy Johnson, Michael Strahan, Kurt Menefee's the perfect host, the traffic cop for that show, and especially Terry Bradshaw. That would be a chance of a lifetime. I said this before, I love Terry Bradshaw. He's got a great sense of humor. He knows the game. He's been a Hall of Fame quarterback. And, we're talking about the tragedy that we're trying to raise money for. Jimmy Johnson. I read a huge article about him and how the hurricane in Florida destroyed the home that he and his wife had spent 20 years building and perfecting to be exactly what they wanted. And that was obviously a terrible, terrible tragedy in his life.
Well, deep fly ball to center ends this inning, but 3 more score for the Astros, and they have a commanding lead as we go to the bottom of the 6th.
And now it is
so many reasons to continue to watch this one, not the least of which is to see how your bids are doing. We continue to raise money for Hurricane Harvey relief. There are so many stories. I love the one of the Astros broadcaster Steve Sparks, whose son defied an evacuation order, went into the Sparks home while Steve was on the road with the team and his wife and daughters were gone, and his son cleared drains so that the Sparks home would not flood. There were 203,000 homes that weren't so lucky, 39,000 of which are uninhabitable, which is why those shelters are so full, and that is why we need you to help us raise money for those people. It's been a month, and you can do so by just ordering some tickets to FC Dallas. What a great way to spend an evening. Go on out to Frisco and watch FC Dallas. What a game day experience they provide. 4 tickets and a pre-match press box tour. You see the bid. It's a bargain right now, so get that one bidded up right now, and we get it back to Dave in town.
Well, DeShields hammers one out to center field, and that one off the fence. And Delano got a great start, and he will score an inside the park home run.
That's a stand-up. That's about as easy an inside the park home run as I've ever seen. Maben was kind of gliding after that ball. I thought he had to beat on it, was going to catch it, but he never really had an opportunity to catch that ball. one of the harder hit balls Delino has hit. He launched that thing to center field on the line. Hope Maben's okay. He crashed into the wall.
Well, how timely was that? Because this is the Sonic Slam inning, brought to you by Sonic Drive-In. Our $500 jackpot tonight. Joe Chastide of Burleson, he's the winner. Congratulations. $500. Dinner for two at a Sonic Drive-In.
Yeah, you could almost have announced that inside the park home run like a regular home run, because as soon as it hit the wall and bounced, it was a home run. He was going around second base, and you could have said something like, and that ball is gone. It's a home run.
It's a home run. 393 feet. Yeah, that was, in a weird way though, Tom, like the term we use so often. It's like a no-doubter.
It was.
It's a no-doubter.
Once it bounced past Maben, it was over.
Went off the bat at 102 miles per hour. And Delano left the box at a darn near the same speed.
It's so much fun watching a player who can run like Delano round the bases. Usually it's a triple that you get to see that when they go around second base. This one turned out to be an inside the park. But watch him when he comes. You don't see him for very long. Well, now he can pretty much slow down and trot the rest of the way home. But fun to watch guys that can run like that. And imagine what it would have been like to play sports and be able to run like that. Delano was a big-time high school football recruit. Could have gone to almost all of the big schools as a running back. I think he was a running back. Probably could have played anywhere. Cornerback, safety, receiver, running back.
A terrific athlete. 14-2. Delano scored both Rangers runs.
There you go. I love that.
To a wide open left side of the infield, a base hit for 2.
If more hitters could do that, you'd reduce the opportunity for the other team to put a shift on. And Chu is one of the hitters that makes a conscious effort to do that. There's been so many times this year where he's hit the ball sharply doing just that, and had the misfortune of having it go to the only infielder right straight at him, who was playing on the left side of the infield. That time there was no one near that ground ball.
So a base runner for Elvis Andrus and a breaking ball in there for a strike. Keuchel's been pretty good tonight. Very good. Had allowed 3 hits for the first 5 innings. But an inside the park home run, a base hit by Chu. And now Andrus takes low, 1-1 the count. Elvis with a couple more hits tonight. That one off the plate. 2-1. Elvis with 186 hits. Eric Hosmer of the Royals has 188. Altuve not in the lineup today for the Astros, sitting on 199. Chopper, and Keuchel can field his position well. Gold Glove pitcher, and he gets Andrus for out number 1. But Chu does go to second base, and here is Nomar Mazara.
A couple of other numbers for Keuchel. He leads the major leagues in soft contact. In other words, balls put in play that are not hit hard. I don't know what the criteria is for that. He also has lowest number of hard hit balls and leads the major leagues in soft hit balls. So what that says is When he throws a pitch, generally it doesn't get hit very hard. He misses the barrel of the bat, hits the handle, hits the end of the bat. You hit on top of the ball for weak ground balls. Good assortment of pitches, curveball, slider, changeup to go along with that sinking fastball, and generally pretty good command, throwing it where he wants to. Adds up to he's difficult to hit the ball solidly on the barrel of the bat like Delino did. Not many balls are hit like that against him.
One and one the count. Keuchel at 96 pitches for the night. A bouncer up the middle, smothered out there at second base, and a throw over to first in time by Gonzalez. Really nice play to retire Nomar Mazara, and there are 2 away, but Chu is now at third base.
Well, that's a ball as a hitter. You hit it, and you know it's not a clean single. And as you're running to first base, you're hoping that the second baseman can't dive and catch it. And then when he does, you're hoping he can't get up and make an accurate throw. And as it develops, you see how quickly Gonzalez got up and made a strong throw. And even with a desperation slider to first, you get nipped at first base. And you go through a lot of emotion on that, thinking maybe I have a hit. Ooh, I'm not sure, and I'm out. All on the same play. In addition to that, Nomar with 97 RBIs missed an opportunity to knock in a run as well. It sneaks by Gonzalez.
A little conversation now. And they do have activity going. Will Harris been warming in the bullpen out there in left field. A conversation likely about this man, Will Middlebrooks, who was announced as the pinch hitter for Beltre. He swings and misses at strike 1. So Beltre done for the night. Middlebrooks was 1 for 4 with a strikeout yesterday. Reached on an error as well. 1-1 the count. Keuchel's 100th pitch of the evening off the plate. So his final regular season tune-up. Now he may end up on his bullpen day. There's been some talk about maybe the Astros would use him in some sort of relief spot in that series in Boston, just to keep that sharpness perhaps as they head toward the postseason. But certainly his last start of the regular season. Got plenty of run support tonight, but he is throwing the ball well. And he strikes out Middlebrooks. The inning is over, and Keuchel's night probably is too. But in the inning, one last shot. Delino to Shields with a no-doubter, an inside the park home run.
We have so much to keep you interested in with all the bidding that's going on. A credit to all of you Rangers fans who have done such a great job bidding up these great items as we try to raise money for Hurricane Harvey relief. We've got some great numbers to tell you about. The 3,000 hit package, Adrian Beltre, that's over $4,000. The Texas Rangers suite with Jeff Bannister, that's over $6,000 right now. Golfing with Pudge, that's over $6,000. And he said on Rangers Live the pregame that he'd do it twice, so we're going to try to sell that baby twice. The Simpsons just took a big hit, as we have just talked about them. They're near $4,000. At Fox NFL Sunday, that's over $4,000. Keep bidding. We're going to continue to accept your bids until the final out of this game. That's more than enough incentives to stay tuned to this one as we continue to bid this thing up. We continue to raise money for those who need it so much as they recover from Hurricane Harvey, guys.
Yeah, thanks, John. That's great news. J.D. Davis will pinch hit here. 7th inning. And the Astros with the very large lead, 14-2. Davis hitting for Marwin Gonzalez, so he is done for the day. Yoander Mendez drops that one in there for strike 2. Well, Mendez came on to get the final 2 outs of the 5th inning. And that is strike 3. And it looked like Davis was more than willing to accept that strikeout. He heads right back to the dugout, 1 away. They'll have another pinch hitter here. Backup catcher Juan Centeno. And Centeno batting for Gurriel. A lot of players getting a lot of time in this series as Centeno sends this one back our direction. For him, it's just one of those rare opportunities to get in. I just have a couple of home runs this year. He's driven in 3. Shoots it foul. 1-2 the count. He played almost a week ago. Caught the 9th inning in last Wednesday's game for the Astros. Did not get in at bat. Prior to that, his last game was on September 9th at Oakland, but he was he took one off the head and had to take a couple of days off with the concussion protocol. He strikes out here, and there are 2 away.
Yoander ran into some problems in the 6th inning, but he's making a nice comeback here in the 7th inning with a couple of quick strikeouts.
Now Colin Moran, the pinch hitter. So 3 pinch hitters this inning. And Mendez drops one right in there for a strike. Number of defensive changes for the Rangers this inning as well. We'll get a chance, we'll update those for you. Moran, just his 4th game. Came in as a defensive replacement last night and got an at bat. The ball's 2 strikes on him. Moran had that odd situation earlier this year in July when he fouled one off the handle of his bat and it went straight up into his face and was placed on the disabled list. Had facial fractures. Did not come off the disabled list for a couple of months. And now strikes out swinging here. Yoander Mendez strikes out the side on 10 pitches in the 7th. They'll stand and stretch here tonight, 14-2.
Rangers trailing the Astros, but all is not lost as we welcome you back to Globe Life Park in Arlington. You still have a chance to do some good for our Hurricane Harvey relief effort. Still tons of great items to bid on. We're close to 50,000, still plenty of time to bid on the golf experience with Pudge, the sweet night here at the ballpark with the meet and greet with Jeff Bannister, the behind-the-scenes tour of the television truck. So many things up for grabs. Stars, Cowboys, whatever your DFW team, we've got you covered. Don't forget the NFL package, the Simpsons package, something for everyone. So the State Farm winning combination tonight is the Astros and the Rangers combining forces to raise money for Hurricane Harvey relief efforts, guys.
Great stuff. Thanks, Emily. It's been a big night. FoxSportsSouthwest.com. Check it all out. Still a little time left. Some great opportunities out there. Will Harris has come on to pitch here in the bottom of the 7th inning for the Astros. Takes over for Dallas Keuchel, the 44th appearance for the Astros right-hander.
He's been a solid reliever for the Astros for sure. Pretty good numbers too. Love the strikeout to walk ratio. 48 strikeouts, 6 walks. 224 opponent's batting average. There was a lot of cut fastballs.
Well, the first man he faces, Willie Calhoun, who came on last inning to play left field. Willie looking for his second big league hit. And shoots this one foul. 1-2 the count. Calhoun's out here early again today, taking fly balls out in left field. He continues to work hard out there for the Rangers. Acquired in the deal from the Dodgers when they traded Yu Darvish to LA, and he was the big get in that deal. Second baseman turned outfielder, and from what we've seen, pretty decent outfielder as he hits this one softly to center. Maben closes on it quickly for out number 1. Taking a look at our AT&T matchup tomorrow, the final game of this 3-game series and season series. Justin Verlander will make his final regular season tune-up for the Astros. Nick Martinez will have the ball for the Rangers. Game time 1 o'clock tomorrow. We'll have the pregame beginning here at 12:30 on Fox Sports Southwest. One out. Here is A.J. Jimenez. And Jimenez came in last inning defensively as well. Not a pinch hit for him. Twins won today, 8-6 the final score. So officially the Rangers have been knocked out of wild card contention. That was but a formality really today. Two-strike pitch. And Jimenez shoots it foul out of play. Spent the year at AAA Round Rock, hit .245 in 51 games with the Express, and did a really good job behind the plate defensively. About 17 would-be base stealers. Checks his swing, that one in the dirt. Formerly with the Blue Jays organization, but was designated for assignment in February. Signed as a minor league free agent right before the start of spring training, and then ended up turning in some good numbers this year. He strikes out here. There are 2 away in the 7th inning. So Harris doing a nice job in relief once again. All right, time for a Chevy game break. Let's check in with John Radigan.
And And it's Brian Dozier's 3-run blast, his 33rd, that helps make that an 8-6 final, guys.
Yeah, thanks, John. So that was the knockout blow for the Rangers. Technically, the Angels still alive, depending. I mean, their ball game could be the end for them as this one fouled away to the right side out of play. Angels, though, are winning. They're up 9-3 in the 9th inning in Chicago. So if they win, their elimination number will stay or drop, I guess, to 1. Already has dropped to 1 with that Twins victory today. Well, Goslin came in defensively an inning ago and getting his first at bat of the day. 1-2 the count. Goslin was with the Pirates earlier this season. In fact, was up and down between the big club and the AAA club. He's played in Indianapolis a number of times. Finished the year in the Rangers system, AAA Round Rock, and got a call up. On 1 for 5 in his 8 games in which he has appeared with the Rangers here in September. Has not made a start yet, but has had a decent number of at-bats. They'll hit this one out toward right field. And Fisher coming over, able to get there to make the play. A 1-2-3, bottom of the 7th to the 8th inning. Astros leading by 12.
Replay. 5th inning, Cameron Maben, line drive into the gap. It's going to be a triple. Carlos Gomez launches a long-range throw that bounces off the side of the wall, and Maben scampers home. Triple and an error for the home run. Delino then in the 6th inning hits one over Maben's head. He crashes into the wall. As soon as that ball bounced past Maben, it was an inside the park home run. Delino coasted home from third base. So 2 exciting plays in the game. One a triple and an error to get the run in, and the one by Delino, an inside the park home run all the way.
Maben this time on one pitch bounces out to shortstop, where Drew Robinson takes care of him. 1 away in this 8th inning. Yohander Mendez continues to work. He's now retired 7 of the last 8 he has faced, so settled in a little bit. They'll deal with Tony Kemp. Kemp got a hit his last time up. Has reached base 3 times tonight, though. A walk and a hit batter to go with his base hit. 1 the count. So 8th inning tonight. It was a 4-run first inning, 2 runs in the 4th, 5 runs in the 5th, 3 more in the 6th inning. And a healthy Houston Astros offense tonight. And they managed to get a lot of guys in there as well as Kemp fights one off. Count stays 1-2. A.J. Hinch, at this point, his team with 96 wins coming in. Their goal at the moment is to see if they can catch up to the Cleveland Indians. And if they could pass Cleveland, get the best overall record, that might end up being very significant for them. A little pop-up back of second base. Robinson out there, 2 away. Well, we've shown you all the great packages today at foxsportssouthwest.com for our benefit tonight. But also, if you want to make a $30 donation and get one of these Texas Strong dog tags, or maybe an $80 donation, pick up one of those stainless steel Texas Strong mugs. You do that as well. Every little bit helps. Trying to raise money today to help out the folks down in the Gulf Coast. And they dig their way out of all that damage and destruction from hurricane, then tropical storm Harvey. On 1 the count on Fisher, who came into the 5th inning. 0 for 1 today. Fouls this one back our direction. John Radigan was talking early, relating some of the stories. You know, these Houston players, a lot of them had a lot on their minds that final week of August when they were run out of town. And their families left back home, and that was really stressful for them. We spent 3 days with him down in St. Petersburg, Florida, and he told the story of Steve Sparks and his son, Sparky, now a radio analyst for the Astros. There's Sparky, great knuckleballer, an all-around good dude, by the way. His college-age son drove through the storm, through all the warnings, to come home to help his family. But the stressful part of that story we'll relate to you when we come back. It's a 1-2-3, bottom of the, or rather top of the 8th inning. To the bottom of the 8th we go. Rangers down by 12. There's Sparky. So, Tom, we remember we were down in Tampa, and Doug Brocail was going through the stressful time with his family back home in
Yeah.
Houston. And Steve Sparks, radio analyst for the Houston Astros, man, his son, great kid, man. I mean, what a kid, came back from UT, drove through the night, middle of the storm, not supposed to be on the road, somehow with Waze and everything else, managed to find his way back home, where Sparky's wife was left alone at home in this horrible storm. He was upset about that, but also happy his son could be there. It got pretty scary, as you could see. Well, the last night that we were there in Houston, the phones went out, and he could not get in touch with his family, could not get in touch with his son, was up all night, and never heard from his son. We got to the ballpark later that day for that final game. Had not heard from his son, was nearly in tears. He was pretty shaken up by the whole situation. And finally, probably about 30 minutes before we went on the air, he was working alone that whole series because his partner couldn't get there. About 30 minutes before we went on the air that day, his son able to get through. His phone had lost power, and that's why he couldn't be in touch. But just a horribly frightening night for him.
Yes.
Good news was everybody was fine, but man, it was a harrowing couple of days for so many people, and then it's now turning into a harrowing couple of months in the aftermath for so many more. I read there were like 136,000 homes and office buildings that were lost. They were just damaged to basically total through that storm. People having to rebuild their lives completely. And so that's part of what we're doing tonight in this Harvey Relief Benefit. Just trying to raise some money and help out the folks down there on the Gulf Coast. Go to foxsportssouthwest.com. Check out one of those auction items and see if there's a way you can help. 2-2 to Ryan Rua, leading off this bottom of the 8th inning. Ryan has played the whole way tonight. One of the few still in this game who has played the whole way. 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts. In fact, he's the only remaining Ranger who is on that starting lineup card. Cole Hamels went 3 innings tonight. Gave up 6 runs on 6 hits, walked 4, struck out 3. And a swing and a miss. Rua down on strikes to start the 8th inning.
Center fielder, Delano DeShields.
Pick up Delano DeShields now. Delano had the inside the park home run in the 6th inning. Martes very high with that fastball and 96 miles per hour. So Martes, a relief pitcher in this one for the Astros. 5-2 record this year, an ERA over 6. Big arm though. Guy who started some games for them, in fact, has pitched in relief. Now this is 30th relief appearance. That's part of the bargain in this last week too for a lot of these Astros players. Guys kind of campaigning to be on that postseason roster. Ball boy today is getting all the applause and attention. And Timmy will make a fan. Every time he goes after something, they go crazy. Two and 2 the count. Now we're hearing it's his birthday as well today. Looks like he's having fun. Steve Buechele's birthday today. Boo. This has not been much of a celebration tonight, though. 14-2. Astros currently with the lead. And Delano strikes out swinging, 2 away in the 8th. Well, again, this Hurricane Harvey relief drive today, the benefit. A lot of ways people can get involved. We talked about the golf, some of the great experiences, but you know, these mugs, these are great. Are you a big coffee drinker, by the way?
No, but I use these for cold drinks to keep in the car. Smoothie or something like that you make at home.
These bad
serves the same purpose, whether it's hot or cold.
Yep. So
they stay hot, they stay cold for a long time.
Thermos, one of the great inventions of all time, right?
Yep.
So bright. But yeah, these are great. 80 bucks. You make a donation. You get one of these Texas Strong mugs. Of course, we got the dog tags. And look, any donation of any size that anyone wants to make will all go to good use. Jared Hoying's first at bat of the night. He hits this ball sharply, but caught on a dive by White, and the inning is over. We'll go to the 9th, 14-2 Houston. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. And by AT&T Internet. Visit AT&T.com/keepcalm to learn more. Tom, I tried this last night. Your bad news is that it's 14-2.
Right.
Good news is there's time left in this bat. You ever seen a 12-run comeback in 1 inning?
Not in 1 inning, no. But
well, if I got something for you,
there was a comeback. I think it was Seattle and Cleveland when Lou Piniella was managing Seattle.
Yeah.
And they had a good team. I can't remember the lead, but it was something like that late in the ball game, and the Indians came back and beat them. So it has maybe not quite 14-2 in the 9th inning, but something close to that.
Well, this is really going to be something for the ages tonight as Ricky Rodriguez comes in this 9th inning now, and Alex Bregman fouls back strike 1. Now, I get it, right? I've been to sporting events or been watching my team on TV before and thought, I'm out. This one's not going well. But the thing that always hooks me is that lurking feeling that, you know what?
What you would say and think if it actually happened.
Yep. 1-1 to Bregman, who has stayed in the whole night tonight. Well, that one almost hit Bregman, but got a piece of his bat for strike 2. That got Tim back out again. These fans, I love them. just got a piece. Breaking ball, and this one lifted out toward right center. Long run for DeShields, but he's able to get there. And Bregman put away. All right, a couple more things you can still bid on tonight. Go to foxsportssouthwest.com. That Blue Sky Studio Tour out in Connecticut. Of course, the Fox NFL Sunday VIP visit with Terry Bradshaw and Howie Long and the gang. And then the 2 living room sets, Cindy Crawford and Sofia Vergara. Great home decorating ideas right there. So those are still available. Just go online, foxsportssouthwest.com. Now, the live auction ends at the end of the game. So time running short. This is your chance to sneak in there and put in that winning bid. White with a big swing and a foul ball. They count 0-2. Tim, I don't. He might be the most balls that he's thrown up into the stands in any one game this year. Hey, look, another foul ball. Go get it, Tim. Help him out, folks. That's a tough decision every time. Tyler White lifts this one high in the air down the right field line. May well be playable near the stands, and Rua couldn't quite get it. Nobody's fault. Sometimes fans do make a little bit of a mess of those plays, but nothing you do about that one. And he's going to fall just a little short. So Rodriguez readies again in the 0-2 pitch. And this one down that right field line and will drop in. Hoying picks it up on a hop. Reminder that a couple other items still left up for bid. A day at the races, Lone Star Park. The Dallas Stars Sweet Night. Going out to LA and sitting in on a Simpsons table read. That one's at $3,800. That's a once in a lifetimer right there. And of course, a round of golf with Pudge. Currently at $6,400, so you can still get in there and get a winning bid in. Now, Tom, I heard a story that a couple years ago during one of these benefits that a fan called in. This one lifted out to right field, and Hoying is there, 2 away. The fan called in and said, well, hey, listen, a lot of great stuff here, but I'm looking for something a little different. I got a lot of money, and I'm willing to go big. I want dinner with Tom Green. I think I like 10 grand out of it. And when that was announced, got another call. 10 more.
Man, doesn't get much better than that, does it?
I eat dinner with you tonight for free. Well, I think they should.
Yeah, but it wasn't as good a meal as what they got.
I bet. Would you take them?
I don't remember.
Did you prepare something nice at home? Or?
No, we didn't do it that way. Unfortunately, I can't quite remember exactly where we did go. I've done that a few times before. That was very nice of them. They obviously, through the generosity of their hearts, wanted to donate a lot of money to that cause.
That's a really cool idea. And so many people doing so much to try and help as Davis rolls out to third. The inning is done. Here it comes, folks. Last chance for the Rangers and the 12-run comeback after this.
So many viewers on so many computers and so many devices waiting to push that final bid before the final out is made in this game. Rangers Live presented by Frontier Communications. We will give you the grand total, but for now we'll tell you, to this point we have raised $55,009 for Harvey relief. You have done that. We're awfully proud of you, Rangers fans, and we thank you very much for supporting this great cause. But we're not done yet, because I know there are a couple of people out there waiting to make that final bid, which must happen before the final out of this game. Afterwards, Mark McLemore joins me. We talk about the game, and we give you the absolute final total of how much your generosity has given to the people of Southeast Texas and the Gulf Coast area. Guys?
All right, thank you, John. Little bit of time left as we get going here in the bottom of the 9th inning. Yeah, still some more of the big ticket items at Mavericks VIP experience. The TMS VIP experience as well. There's a Rangers Suite night, a meet and greet with Banny involved in that one, and a Dallas Cowboys VIP experience as well, all at foxsportssouthwest.com. Still a chance to get those bids in. Raymond Boudouin in the dirt, and it's 1-2 on Robinson.
That boy's throwing the balls all over back down there.
A little high, 2-2. A tough night tonight for the Rangers, but still a chance here. 15th game that Robinson has played in this month of September. Hits this ball hard, deep to left field, and that one is gone. Out over the wall in left field, a solo shot for Drew Robinson. 5th home run of the year for him, and it's 14-3.
That's a pretty impressive home run against the left-hander. Drew has a beautiful swing, and when he makes that kind of contact, when he barrels up on it, that ball jumps off his bat. That's an opposite field home run, about 410, 415 feet. Nice swing, good contact, opposite field home run.
Good start to this 9th inning, and now Nomar Mazara, who takes one high for a ball. Bottom of the 9th inning. Nomar, check that swing up. 2-0 the count. Looking for his first hit of the night, 0 for 3 so far. Yeah, that's a fastball right in there for a strike. That home run by Robinson, 420 feet. That's that power that we were seeing in spring training that had folks so excited. And then right when he came up, hit a couple of home runs first couple of games he played. 3-1 to Mazara. Way out of play. Full count now on Nomar. Well, rain starting to fall in this 9th inning. Well, Mazara will take the walk. Good one. A little out of sync on that last one. Well, he walked off the mound. Got your attention, I guess, if it's the first time you've seen him, but yanked that thing. So Mazara reaches and Gallo pinch runs. A couple more of those big ticket items. The Fan Sports Express, Fox Sports Southwest, behind the scenes of a Rangers broadcast. You can get behind the velvet rope and see all the excitement back here. The Texas Rangers 3,000 hit. As that one rolled into left field, a base hit. And he continues, a home run, a walk, a single by Middlebrooks.
Well, it's a good start on your prediction.
Don't go anywhere.
A solidly hit ground ball past the shortstop.
A couple of base runners now for Willie Calhoun. And now the birthday wishes for Tim.
That's got to be, well, you can't say it's got to be a first. It's probably happened before, but it's unusual to hear what's left of a crowd sing happy birthday to a bat boy at a big league game. The poor kid's got to down there and have fun on his birthday when his team's behind 14-3.
0-2 the count on Willie Calhoun. You're right. That's a tough spot.
It takes a little of the joy out of
Yep.
it. Not having as much fun as he'd like to.
Calhoun bounces this one right side. White has it. He'll take the out at first, but both runners advance. Gallo at third. Middlebrooks at second with one away. And A.J. Jimenez gets a second at bat in this one tonight. Dan's first pitch fouled back out of play for strike one. Rangers got a run in the first, a run in the sixth, and a run here in the ninth inning. Drew Robinson with a home run the other way. Pretty impressive. On an otherwise disappointing evening. That one high, 1-1 the count. Steve Buechele celebrating a birthday. Tim celebrating a birthday. Bob Hazelwood, one of our real good viewers, celebrating a birthday tonight as well. As this one ripped foul. 1-2 the count. And speaking of television viewers, those of you hanging on still, really appreciate it. Invite you back. Right back out here again tomorrow. 12:30 for the pregame show. 1:05 first pitch. Last game of the series with the Astros. And then Thursday, Friday, Saturday night, Sunday afternoon. The final series of the season. 4 games against the Oakland A's. Who are proven to be formidable opponents, especially here in the second half. Curveball. And that is strike 3 call. Jimenez down looking, and there are 2 away.
Second baseman, Bill Gosselin.
Phil Gosselin now will be the last chance for the Rangers in this ninth inning. So one last reminder. FoxSportsSouthwest.com. Head on over, take a look. Get those last bids in. These live auctions, that's the whole key, right? You got to wait everybody out. Got to get there to the end and then make that big bid. So this is when we see the run a lot of times. Get on there and make sure that you get that great experience available tonight. 1 strike pitch. Count 0-2. (14-3) Houston. Curveball swung on and missed, and that one will do it. Boy, the Astros just carved up the Rangers tonight. 14-3 the final score. And we'll wrap up this series tomorrow afternoon. John Radigan and Mark McLemore will be back here in a moment. They got to recap the bidding and the winners from today's action. For Tom Grieve and Emily Jones, I'm Dave Raymond, inviting you to stay with us. Our coverage of tonight's action continues right after this.